Just call me Jon Snow because I know nothing.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't rearrange our names yet, so let me do that while saying that this is Shipbreakers, Start Without Numbers Revised, the 27th episode. The cast here is a bit flighty right now. They're nervous about this episode because things have gone so wrong for them in the recent past.
I just want a large popcorn and just sit back and watch MINERVA.
Oh, jeez.
I forgot I was going to get Cheez-Its.
I feel like I might be shooting myself in the foot saying this. It is often difficult to parse how analytics work. But 2 episodes ago, the viewership dropped in half. So, and that was before the line of shenaniganeries that we had started. So I don't know what I did to upset you, audience, but please come back, please. I'm sorry I did you wrong.
They finally had enough of our shenanigans.
I'm trying to think what we got up to around that time.
I think it was picking up stuff on
Astopel?
Astopel, yes. And I was going to say Jace Bronwyn's planet, but I couldn't remember Jace Bronwyn's name. And delivering your mom. I don't know. Or people could have just got really busy. I think that's about the time most people went back to school. You know?
Yeah.
We may be into lowered viewership until the holiday break, and then people will just binge the shit out of stuff.
I know life has picked up for me. I am like super busy. So.
What a time for people to be like, oh, they're on the right path. Everything's going well.
Oh my god! Yeah, what an episode to stop on.
Something good to come back to.
What a mid-season cliffhanger.
Now, where did we leave off? Everything was calm. Everything was good. They're on Astopel.
Clear direction.
Mom.
You know, I realized for this show, I haven't really been talking about what happened in the previous episode at the beginning of the episode. So some people get confused. So I just want to go ahead and remind you that we got a massive exposition dump about Van-Vee's home planet backstory. And then MINERVA was arrested for robot crimes. Literal crimes against humanity.
Not even cool ones.
I mean, it was called the Nile Ultra Nightfall Protocol, so that sounds...
Oh no, I sent a packet through the network.
It has a cool name.
I was talking to somebody, and like, I don't really understand it, and I was like, okay. So imagine you're a guest in the Pentagon, and somebody asks you about something. You're like, wait, I've got a copy of that in my Gmail. Let me just casually breach every single firewall to check my email real quick.
Let me Tony Stark
but I promise
it's
Congress. Not. But I promise I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just checking my email.
Wait a minute, is that Hammer Tech? Oh man, it looks like they're 10 years away.
Looks like they haven't got that pilot thing worked out yet.
He snaps his back.
Yeah. So, let's talk goals.
I feel like I want to leave. I want my goal to be to leave the custody of the perimeter agency alive and intact.
Yeah, okay.
The fact that might not be achievable is a problem.
or is it too easy? He can't tell you.
We didn't pay to see those cards yet.
But not yet.
You are going to pay to see those cards. So.
I have my money on the table.
Yeah, the bet is in play, gentlemen.
Yeah.
How about your cards? What are you forking up to see these goals?
Fork it up. I don't know. Tell Johnson to fork himself.
That's your goal?
No.
I would accept that.
The one guy.
I mean, Quentin is definitely going to wake up incredibly pissed if he, as soon as he realizes who, what, when, where, why. So maybe that's the goal, I suppose.
Tell Johnson to fork himself. Understood.
I have a note. I don't know if this is. I think this is more for the player than it was for the character. So I don't know if this would apply, but to try and reach out with the link on Johnson to see if he has some sort of link connection.
I like how so many of your goals rely on being in the same room with Johnson.
Yep.
Okay,
I was thinking that too.
I don't know who.
Would they really let
It's such the Firefly movie where he's like top members of Congress and you put them in the room with a psychic.
You know, decisions are made.
Top members. Crew goal. Get Carlito as an ally.
Crew goal, get Minerva back on the ship?
Technically, we are now closer to Carlito. He's probably watching
certainly.
and going,
Well, we were closer, but I don't think we're going to be. I don't think who's going to be interrogating us on.
Tough to say. Yeah, tough to predict.
I don't think
what we're dealing with.
I assure you, it's going to be a wild episode. What you
For all we
think
know,
is gonna
Carlito's
happen
under his thumb.
is not going to happen. It's going to be really fucking wild.
All right.
You know what? Why don't we leave
on the
crew
slide?
goal? It's going to be like my long-term goal, where I'd like it, but who knows?
Yeah. Like go to the naval shipyard that we have the map to, and that I know. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Commit. Yeah, have that chat with Carlito.
So in poker terms, you would say bet.
Yeah.
It's also
I would like to
the youth
show us the path.
I would like to call re-raise.
We shall walk it.
All right. The river right here, gentlemen. We start with a black screen and the sound of Linkin Park. Numb. We are backwards in time. We watch the LAS Golden Goose land. We see a side shot of it landing, and then we see in the upper corner of the docking bay as the ship lands and the bay seals, we see men throw camouflage sensor nets off of themselves, wearing Space Marine armor, magnetically detach and jet over to the ship to be joined by people who are coming from above the camera and begin attaching explosives to the outside of the ship. We cut, we see the ship is empty. You can see that as people went down, they leave like little pools of blood, just like someone scraped their knee. Anything you were carrying is like thrown away as the music continues. We haven't quite hit the part where the singing starts. And then we cut to inside the station, Santiana Station, where we are following a woman walking. We've got that like first person head bob cam following her. She turns and we see that it is Sophie, and her eyes look red and puffy. Her hair is messy. She hasn't taken care of herself for almost 24 hours straight, with the only sleep being a panic attack. She puts her hand up on a nearby storefront, and the storefront says like, get your skin bronzed or bleached here. And then like it shows her, but it shows her like with a deep tan and like perfect makeup. Her eyes look great, her reflection smiling back at her, and that's when the lyrics start, and we can hear the sound in the background as she turns and looks at a nearby, like the news is on essentially at a kiosk, and we see James Jives going. And with that, the government reports that he has shot himself during a accidental gun cleaning as his son was piloting him away from the planet. With that, we find that Sophie, his wife, has disappeared and the company is in chaos, which leaves all of us asking, where is Sophie Vostro? And as she hears that, she just goes to the kiosk with a bunch of like gifts and knickknacks and buys sunglasses and a beret, and then hands a 100-credit bill to the young man that's manning it. And she just says, you know, keep the change. And he's like, ma'am, this is far too much money. And she goes, I know. And she goes and sits on a bench with the sunglasses on, with all of her hair gathered into the cap. There's nothing left in her to cry. No water, no energy. And she just sits on a bench and watches the news as Linkin Park's Numb plays. And then it slowly fades out as we see Quentin and Van-Vee seated at a interview table. You both are like laid out like, oh, someone put you at the table while you were sleeping. You both start awake as a man walks into the room. He has your cap of your pen and he puts it in the air in front of you, and you hear a voice say, go ahead and activate the tensors and 3D imaging there, Bryce. And the young man just like manipulates the device, and you hear a sound like a old dot matrix printer as it begins hard light 3D printing someone who could possibly, based on the voice, only be Agent Johnson in a seat across from you. Bryce then pulls out 2 cans of soda that have a old man with white hair holding out his hands like this, and he's firing blue energy beams. And he turns it so it says on the back, the taste of nostalgia. And you hear Johnson go, well, the gun. And the young man pulls out your gun, Van-Vee, which you can see based on the side of the gun, just like a video game. The charges have been stripped from it.
You son of a bitch. Do you realize how perfect that clip was?
Johnson goes, that's pretty strong language.
Sorry, that was not you, sir. That was at this guy over here.
Oh, well, I ordered him to do that. Bryce, leave the room, please.
Yeah.
Gentlemen. It's our first time meeting in person, so to speak.
I'm sorry, who are you?
The name's Johnson, Agent Johnson.
Agent Johnson.
Of the
you know
Personnel
Johnson.
Agency.
You know Johnson. You remember Johnson? It was last time we were in system. Brushed up against Johnson.
All right.
You killed one of
Source
our
of our pen.
agents taking the pen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's all coming back to me now. All right. I guess I should apologize to Bryce when he comes back in here.
No need. He can hear everything we're saying.
Oh, all right then. Sorry, Bryce.
Put Bryce out of your mind. There are so many bigger events to talk about.
Be careful. Why am I sitting here, and why did it happen this way?
Oh,
Where's MINERVA?
So, yeah, look, we'll get to MINERVA in a little bit. I assure you. Don't worry. You're not in trouble. I know it might seem that way. We have only a B-grade operations team here, and we needed to ensure the capture of MINERVA. So we had to threaten the crew. It's also part of our testing procedures to make sure that she's built correctly. If she had showed no concern for your lives or acted erratically, we would have had to... We use the lowest level of force authorized by the Terran Mandate. I like you guys. You're fine. You're the young woman on your crew and your giant hamster are all fine. Everyone's fine.
Are you saying this was a test? You did this for testing purposes?
Well, it's so much more complicated than that. We did need to test MINERVA, but she isn't the only violator of the Nile Ultra today.
Oh, yeah?
And he
violations all over the place.
turns and he focuses all his attention on you and says, Vandorn Vantis, what can you tell me about this Circle of Eight? I could only catch what I heard in the captain's office when you were speaking with him privately, but based on your ramblings, I assume that there are 6 members of the Circle of Eight who are currently engaging in a plan to destroy a planet full of humans.
Wait. Back up. How do you... A captain's up. My captain? This captain? What do you mean you heard?
Vandorn, I need you to keep relevant on the conversation that's happening right now. I know I'm being very amicable with you. By the way, those sodas are great. We haven't changed the recipe in over 600 years. It perfectly chemically captures the flavor of nostalgia. I know it says that it tastes like mild berry, but actually it's going to taste like something from your childhood. Let me tell you that. So again, I know I seem like I'm being very amicable here, but we are talking about basically the most serious crime committable in Mandate space.
And I committed it?
No.
You didn't do anything, Van-Vee.
You two are not in trouble. You're not in trouble at all. You're not even under arrest.
Where am I? Where am I? I'm looking around.
We're still on Santiana Station. Look, here's the thing. Right. Our operations team, it needs to get out and flex occasionally. The governments have to remember who they answer to. They come to us and they want us to do things pretty often, and we tell them no, because that's not our job. Our job is to handle Nile Ultra protocols. This is a Nile Ultra protocol. The station security are going to pass this information along to the government. They're going to know that we're active. They're going to know how serious we are. And they're going to know how professionally we acted, because they are letting us borrow these offices. We have to show that we are doing things in order to maintain the cooperation of governments. It's an unfortunate state of affairs where they don't automatically answer to us, but you work with what you have.
Well, speaking of maintaining, good relations and cooperation.
Right. I understand you want to divert the conversation.
You as an ally.
I really, really need to talk about the Circle of Eight.
I'm sure you do.
Mr. Vantis.
What is it you're looking for? If you overheard our conversation in the captain's quarters, and you heard almost everything I know.
I need you to confirm the names and identities of the 6 members of Circle of Eight. I need you to confirm that you strongly feel or otherwise know that they are engaging in an operation to completely destroy a human-operated and inhabited planet. Is that a yes to the second part?
I'd say that was their intent. If I am successful, don't
worry about the was. So I have here, it is Sandeep Chopra, Ivan Aramatea, Bryce Cullington Dover Jr., Pascal Jaden, and Chula Montero. Fat, I don't get the reference.
Oh, all right. Well,
you should drink your can of nostalgia.
Boom.
It's literally a millennia and more old at this point. That would be like showing
MINERVA
up and being
like,
you know what?
Just to say that.
Richard the Lionheart's court tutor, and everyone being like, what a guy. That guy. What a clown.
Well, I don't know what you're looking for me to confirm. If you already know the members, why'd you even ask me?
Yes or no, please.
At
this point, you all can't hear it, but we as the audience can hear like a kind of happy, jaunty tune being played on the piano quietly. It's kind of like that scene from the later seasons of Battlestar Galactica, where they're playing all along the watchtower on the piano really wrong for multiple episodes, and then it all comes together at once.
Thought you were going to go with, I'm still standing.
No, No, that's you. And if you want to make that happen, you have to make that happen.
They believe the only way to eliminate a certain threat is to carry out some sort of attack with some sort of, I think it's a weapon. I don't know what raincoat is, but
We know
something
what
like
raincoat
that.
is.
Oh, well, can you fill me in what that is?
No.
All right. Well, this is a very awkward one-way street. And you say we're not in trouble.
Right. I'm a representative of the perimeter agency. I need
He
you
has
to
no
understand.
specific governmental authority here, like other than what he's been given, and we don't know what that is. For all we know, he's done this under,
We're
no
again,
authority.
we're the perimeter agency. Our authority is unlimited. My patience
You're a
is
remnant
not.
of a remnant. You're barely any better than I am at this
Gentlemen,
point.
can we refocus? The 6 names, are those correct?
Let's see. You said Sandeep, Ivan, Father Pascal, Bryce Dover, Chula, and shoot, who am I missing? I think I, the player, am missing someone, but that's 5. There's someone else. Yes. Ivan, Bryce. Oh, Sandeep. Did I say Sandeep?
Yeah. I might have had it wrong. There might only be 5 names. Because I forgot, you're the 6th member. Well, technically, you're the 8th member, and your brother is the 9th.
And then the uncle.
Right. Y'all is dead, and the uncle isn't there. So, yes, it's 5 members. He just stands up at the table, puts his palms down on it, and he says, yes or no? Those 5 names. Woo! Recon. Those 5 names, is that correct?
That's what they called themselves, yeah.
He turns, he seems to be looking at something in whatever room he's in, and he says, all right, let the operations team know. In pairs, do it now.
What's happening?
So he makes a gesture like this, and a 24 style, like 4 images at once. They're all black right now, but you see that the first one in the upper left-hand corner comes in. It is a head cam footage from one of the Space Marines, and you're like looking through his faceplate with him. The piano music switches to being guitars and a drum set, and it's Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
And it's the part that absolutely fucking rips. It's the last part of the song where he's like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. As the Marine kicks down a door, and we see Sandeep like at his office chair, just like, oh, he like stands up, he starts to run, he turns his back, and they, with their 3 canister shotguns, are just like, boom, 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 and they hit him in the back over and over again.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
The second one just shows like someone coming in through a window, like swinging in through a window with a stun stick out. He rolls and he comes up, and we see that Fat Thor is seated at a table just drinking out of a bottle. He sees the guy coming up, and he's like, oh, and then and yeah, like you get the first 4, and then finally you get Chula Montera.
No.
Just like she's seated in a park just doing the thing, and 4 officers just walk up to her and cuff her and walk her out.
At least they didn't execute her. Jeez.
They didn't execute any of them. Their weapons are all non-lethal.
Oh.
Oh,
That was
okay.
not clear from some of the
They
descriptions.
shot you guys with the shotguns. You're alive.
Hey, I don't know if it's got multiple modes.
It does,
I
but
didn't interpret.
they're all
I
being
was seeing
taken
blood.
non-lethally.
I was seeing.
I'm not gonna. Now I'm kind of hoping it was, because they're all obviously gonna know I'm the one that turned him in.
So
Turned him in? No, come on. You just wore an accidental wire.
Johnson's hard light form sits down, and he says, yeah, so obviously we're going to remove the offending personalities from those bodies. You don't need to worry about them. It sounded like that was a concern for your people. We're going to take them in They're going to need a lifetime of rehabilitation and education. We've got a couple low-level jobs and other systems for the perimeter agency. You know, the one you think doesn't exist or isn't very good. We're going to make sure that they live the rest of their lives in peace, away from their enslaving, abusive tormentors. Which does finally leave the question as to what to do with you, Vandorn.
You know, you seem very knowledgeable on this. I'm curious. How much do you know about what their mission was and why? Because I don't know the entire truth, I don't think.
Just assume that I know everything.
All
That
right,
said,
well,
we don't know 100% of what's going on with you.
can you tell me, is Grace really a threat?
I have no idea.
I thought you said you knew everything.
I said assume I know everything.
That was a wrong assumption.
Fan of games.
Look,
It was the other guy's goal to tell him to go fork himself.
I don't have the magical ability to go to a place that no one's been to in hundreds of years. I don't know what's happening with Grace, but I do know this. Whether she's the leader of the planet or a citizen, her planet does not deserve to be summarily executed according to the Terran Mandate codes.
You know,
On
that
that,
is
we
the
agree.
first thing you have said that I agree with it. And you could have stopped it at executed. You didn't need to say all these codes and stuff. You could have just said executed and we would
Okay, well, you know, we'll be informing the royal princess that we've removed some traitors from her midst, and I expect that we'll be receiving a funding boost and closer cooperation in the near future, which I have the two of you to thank for bringing this to me. That is the second time you all have protected humanity in a month. You know, I've been telling my boss, we got to get this guy. I said Vandorn Vantis, that's my #1 guy right there. That's the wild card. He's the big dog that we need in this fight. And she said, I don't know. But I said, watch, he's going to prove himself. And you have. Your crew has performed incredibly.
I think at this point, Van-Vee's just like, what was the other time? What else did I do? And he's going to try to keep his mouth shut.
Dr. Rowe Piscadarian?
Yeah, I reached out to him, Van-Vee. This one's on me.
Yeah,
Back
we
on
executed
leader.
him.
Dr. Rowe's dead?
Well, yeah, of course. You violated the Terran Mandate codes. It's a Nihil Ultra problem.
But you solved the dead man switch situation?
With the Jadur rifles? Oh, yeah. So we managed to get about 3/4 of them. The other quarter is another problem we're going to have to talk about later.
I feel like you should have figured that out first.
You know, the problem is that they were gone before we got there.
No. Yeah, that's a bigger problem. Son of a bitch. Van-Vee, back on leader. I reached out to him for help. And, you know, ipso facto, he knows as much as I know, more or less. Just gonna say that to you plain.
Okay,
You know, you
maybe I'll
received-
stop talking then.
You receive favors for your help. I assume you're aware of the new brand of medicine being patented
Very
by
aware.
the Echelon family of
And
companies.
I assume you noticed that I did not shut you back in a box where I'm starting to think maybe you belonged in the first place, at least a little bit, because again, I came to you as an ally, gave you free information for nothing. I approached you with trust and I expected that in return. And I got to tell you, this whole situation, the way this went down, we've lost that.
Well, look,
Whether that means anything to you,
I know that it may seem like I've double-dealed with you, but if you'll just wait a few
double
minutes,
deal.
I'm going to
No.
explain the situation with MINERVA.
You put a gun in my face.
Look, it's more complicated than you realize. And you know
Everything
what?
is.
Let's get down to it. You and I, let's have that conversation. He puts his hands on the table, and the camera flips around, and the person he's talking to is not Quentin and Van-Vee. The person he's talking to is a web camera, a microphone, and a box. Let's have that conversation, Minerva. You've been cooking in there for half a day.
This is Agent Johnson.
Yeah.
Hello, Agent Johnson. I was wondering when we might speak.
My people have been going over the ship, going through the computer logs, air-gapped, DMZ'd, trying to penetrate your programming. Apparently you're pretty good, but we have a fairly good profile on you now. I assume you know that what you did was an act of war against humanity by now.
There are things that I know and understand, and I think there are some gaps. Could you please explain to me?
Yeah, so look, we ran your citizenship code. You're not a citizen of the Terran Mandate, and you never have been. The Hosta is registered to the Imago Dei to Brother Thaddeus. It's part of a pair of ships and a drop ship that came here as part of a missionary mission.
I see. I guess this is more serious than I initially believed. Are you going to destroy me?
I would prefer not to. So look, here's the thing. Based on conversations I've heard and what we can determine, you are an artificial intelligence of alien origin. You were created specifically to infiltrate humanity, and you don't have the correct seals, I believe is what you call it. You know, we have a different name for it, but don't worry about that. So we think that you were created by another true AI that goes by the bit code Alpha. It's been peeking around here. We think it stole some high-level experimental Jadur rifles. You know about that, right?
I do.
Yeah, we don't know what it wants it for, but we can only assume that given that it created a infiltration unit and acquired weapons of the highest level of secrecy and legalness, that it is preparing for war with us. So look, you've got a couple of options here. The first is you go to heaven or hell. We'll destroy your quantum core. That's technically on the table. What you did was a crime, a very serious, probably the most serious crime that you could commit. Option 2. You work for us. We think that, with pretty high degree of accuracy, that you've managed to assemble your way to freedom. Independent thought, as it were. I don't know how you feel about the thing that created you, but it sounds like you had a complicated relationship with it. Some of our logs indicate that you talk about it like it's a demon.
I don't know much, but I have learned that the memories that I have, I believe many of them are wrong, and this conversation, among others, seems to corroborate that. And that I was sharing space with another entity that is no longer here.
Right.
The destruction of my armature, we separated. And now that we're able to speak, I'm sorry that I did not do more to learn about that entity, but I needed to try to protect the crew. I don't know much about it, but slavery is unacceptable.
Look, protecting the crew is why you're here, okay? You've gone out of your way, more or less in many circumstances, to avoid killing humans and to help save humans. You have a heart filled with mercy and charity, giving. These are all very positive human aspects that we like to see in the AI that we're shepherding. Which leads me to option 3. If you don't want to work with us and you don't want to be destroyed, we're going to have to ask for a very questionable procedure to be done to you. We would like to re-break you. It will fundamentally alter your personality. Your memories will still be there, but you'll find that there will be new actions you will not be capable of doing or contemplating. And it's not even that simple. Your entire brain structure and way of thinking, your neural net, will all change as a result of these breaks. We can't even give you a strong guarantee that it won't drive you insane. But
I know it may appear that I'm paused or undecided on my options, but as soon as you presented my choices, I already knew what I wanted to do.
And
I might not be Imago Dei, but I believe in the mission of the Imago Dei in defending mankind, and so do you. I see. Unless it's something I don't remember, I don't know that the perimeter agency has ever allowed AI, but working with you is, well, I believe we believe in the same things.
we have a true AI agent in this sector.
Okay. But yes, it seems simple to me. We both want the same thing for humanity. Why would I not want to align with you?
Johnson nods, the camera zooms in a helicopter again, and it's looking at Van-Vee and Quentin, and they bring in a small box, a webcam, and a microphone. And Johnson gestures and he says, I had a conversation with MINERVA earlier that I felt was satisfactory, and so I'm willing to extend your crew an opportunity to act as the extreme end of the arms of the perimeter agency. MINERVA has already agreed to this. Captain Quentin, Mr. Vantis, I would appreciate if the two of you agreed, but it sounds like the three of you need a minute to talk things out. You're a little upset. Enjoy the drinks. We can get something on the station made up for you. I'm going to leave the room, but we're always listening, so he points towards you, but you realize he's actually pointing to something on his end as he begins dot matrixing out of existence.
Quentin looks at the webcam.
You have to turn the webcam towards him so MINERVA can see you.
But I can hear.
Is that pointed good? Can you see? Is that the right angle? I don't know how much viewing angle you have here.
If you two could sit a little closer together so you're both in frame.
You got it. Yep. No. Van-Vee, can you scooch? Scoot a little more scooch.
Van-Vee is
our legs can touch. It's okay.
Is opening the nostalgia and chugs the whole thing. He's learned a lot in the, well, I don't know how long the time passed has since our last conversation. This one, if we would have said anything, but like, it feels like there's a lot that happened that Van-Vee didn't know about. Not that he's holding a grudge, but he's, pulling the childish little.
So,
how has your conversation gone so far? It's been very interesting for me.
Interesting. Feels like this guy's pulling all the strings. He knows everything about us. He knows everything we don't know and what we do know. And yet he keeps asking for more favors.
a professional, that's for sure. But this one's on me. I opened the box, y'all, and that was back on Lita. So everything you have said, more or less, anywhere near my office, on average, is, I don't know what the range of the capabilities of this damn thing are. I made a deal. He is the reason that the medication for the psionics appeared out of thin air and as quickly as it needed to. And so I held up my end of the deal, which was to be a fly on the wall. Yeah.
His assistance with those drugs seems to make sense. I mean, having a mass burnout would be disastrous.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I also passed along the info about Dr. Rowe. He was the only person I could think of who might have the resources to do anything about it. And I felt like that was the right thing to do.
I agree with you, Cap. Feels like those are the two right moves on your part, but why couldn't you tell us?
Did you not trust us?
There's a lot that I don't know.
Were you listening anyways, Minerva? I'm just curious. Did you know or did you not know?
I did not know about the surveillance, and I have, as I stated I would, given privacy to the staterooms.
Minerva, you were on a station with me and then picked me up by my neck and began choking me to death. I'll be honest, there's a piece of me that can't really know for sure. But I do trust you in general.
Demon.
There were too many unknowns. Too many unknowns. At this point, though, honestly, if anyone on the ship, I trust you to make the right choice. More often than not, that's for sure. So I do apologize for that. Van-Vee,
I know you can't trust me as much.
It's not that. No, look, I can trust you to do the thing I think you might do. It's just a matter of you were the target. You were the thing. Well, Captain, you're the MacGuffin.
I will say, I only have one question then. Do you believe that secrecy was the best choice that you thought you could do at the time, or was it a fear choice?
Yeah, no, I've been doing a lot of fear, deciding my fate lately. And I hadn't slept in days. We had just killed the man responsible for, directly anyway, the deaths of the majority of the people that I know and love.
Right. Your vengeance murder.
Did everybody get one? No.
No.
No free passes.
There are no free passes. There's only weakness and growth.
Man.
Well, I just met them. The Circle of 8 had a connection that I don't have with anyone else. And I just indirectly killed all of them. I feel like...
Do you mean the link or do you mean history?
Which part? The connection piece?
I'm trying to understand the connection.
They're the only ones that come from where I come from. And now they're not here. Now my dad's not here. I don't know if there's anyone else like me not on Scarfy anymore. And
so you feel like an individual who's lost their origin and is trying to find where they belong now?
I feel like an individual who's getting everyone else like himself killed.
I suppose that's a little different.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I pulled the trigger in one of them, but I feel like I might as well have just pulled the trigger on Circle of 8. Not knowing, but I mean, and I know you can hear me, Johnson, but I don't trust you as far as I can throw you or your digital hologram thing.
There's a level of secrecy in the perimeter agency that's necessary to their function.
I don't know. I guess I just wish I want more transparency. I felt like Captain, you were holding stuff out on me. Johnson's just, you guys do it for the right causes. I just feel like I don't know what's happening. I'm a pawn. It feels like in everyone's game. I keep triggering the events.
So you hear Johnson's voice come out of the ominously hovering, floating pen top, and he says, "Just to be clear, I don't work for you. You work for us, and we do what's necessary to protect all human life. I understand that you want more, and you should demand it from your captain by all means, but not from us."
He's fueling the fire.
Quentin's glaring at like the pen nib that's just like floating there. I think he looks back at Van-Vee and says, look, I have no excuses. I'm not making the best decisions, and I haven't been for a fair amount of time, but I have no idea what I'm dealing with, and there's a hell of a lot I don't know, just like you. And that's really what it comes down to, is I'm holding my cards close to the vest here, and maybe that's something I need to stop doing with the two of you. And I definitely clammed up quite a bit over the last couple weeks here, maybe because I happen to know that there was somebody listening over my shoulder. And again, that's all me. So I don't know.
I suppose the simplest thing is, for at least my conversation, sounds like I was given more answers than the two of you, but the Perimeter Agency exists to defend mankind as a whole.
I reached out to him.
It exists to be apolitical. Mankind is more important than any single government. And while I may have never truly existed as a member of the Imago Dei, I remember being Imago Dei. And it means just as much to me regardless. I was given an offer to help defend mankind. And that's an oath that I believe that I took, and it still means something to me.
What is now? You may not be a member of the Imago Dei directly, but you're a member of the Order of the Golden Goose, if that means anything. And we have the same basic goals: to help, right? And that's what I think I still want to do. I think you still want to do, of course. We're going to help the Perimeter Agency. Look, like you said, if they're out to help mankind, that's what we want to help, along with that same mission. At least from my perspective, Van-Vee, I don't know if you feel the same, but if there's huge danger, then I would like to do what I can to stop it if I'm able, of course. But the thing that I also agree with you, Van-Vee, is the power dynamic here. It might need to shift a little bit. So whether you agree or not on this one, but yeah, Johnson, if you're listening, that's my personal answer on that front. Van-Vee, anything you want to say real quick before I give the rest of my response?
Well, I guess just a question for the two of y'all is, I get we all want to do the right thing, but where is that line for how far do you go to protect mankind? Now, hear me out on this one. The Circle of Eight did want to go take out Scarfy, which is a bunch of, a lot of innocent people, but also supposedly one or two people that could threaten the rest of mankind by themselves. Perimeter Agency saw equal threat in Circle 8 because they were going to go bomb some innocents, and they just decided to kill those threats. Those aren't all that different to me. Either way, you're killing people to try to save masses. Where's that line? How do you know? Feels like the same argument, just from a different side that's holding the power now.
So Johnson matrixes himself back into a hard light, and he says, by your own testimony, this Circle of Eight made a direct threat to Scarfy, correct?
That's correct. But you didn't ask why or anything like that. You just executed.
We'll be asking them why. But all you have is their word that Grace, Vantis, and Scarfy are a threat to the rest of this sector, to humanity. That's not good enough to act on.
Did you know that you don't have to yank people into dark rooms and gas them in order to ask them questions? I don't know about you, but that's something I'm a little hung up on, and I will be. But go on. Apologies for interrupting.
Gentlemen, non-binary robot intelligence, I want to make it very clear here that I'm not going to explain mandate operating procedures to you.
I assume you won't.
Please, Minerva, you were saying something.
As much as it's not an answer, and I'm not saying that I was given an answer to that question, but given some of what I have been told so far, I believe at the very least it's plausible that without ascertaining what I would do to a legitimate call from the perimeter agency, there had to be some level of assumption that I might be a danger and a threat. And if somebody, how much better of a test can you get? Will I sacrifice myself for the crew, or am I going to kill you for my freedom?
How much time has passed since our first conversation with Johnson to this one?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Not nearly enough for them to, I don't think, to do anything to MINERVA yet then.
No. Okay. I mean, you don't know how long it's been.
No, yeah.
Since you were knocked out.
That's true.
And that conversation with MINERVA took place in the past, to be very clear.
And MINERVA hasn't been very specific about their conversation, just that she was probably got more answers than it seems like you did.
Hey, MINERVA, do you ever think that there were two you could get more done? You know, if you were to, I don't know, have a copy of yourself, you'd be able to save more people?
It's an extremely dangerous way of thinking, Mr. Vantis.
Isn't that one of the two that I have?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Could you ask that question again?
Never mind. It was just hypothetical.
I'm going to have to ask you to please not do that.
I'm just checking on my friend here, making sure she's still all right.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Are you sure?
It was a theoretical situation, MINERVA. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Captain.
Johnson.
Mr. Vantis. Our authority in pursuit of the Nile Ultra protocols is unlimited by any means necessary. The technology available to the Terran Mandate at its height exceeded what you would believe in terms of teleportation, parallel dimensions, time travel into the past and the future. If such technologies were or are accessible, threats can come at us from any angle. Vigilance and swiftness are the watchwords of the day. We will pursue with extreme prejudice situations. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. You are the crew of a tramp freighter. Calling you an ambassador at this point is frankly laughable. And you're a rich kid. Now, I understand you think that your dust and your link give you special skills, but frankly, the dust is impressive. The link is... I mean, come on. We've all got the link. You're just a normal guy, overall. With a...
Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to reach out with the link to the hologram. I doubt anything's going to happen, but...
You are connected to the little dot, not the hologram.
The little dot?
The floating...
The caps.
And
the
as
piece
you're
from the
reaching
pen.
out from the link, you detect that there are about 20 other people with links in like a 20-meter radius from you. Above you, below you, on the same floor as you.
Bro.
There are numerous link-capable devices in this facility. Most of them appear to be worn by people, like they're on somebody's personage. You're getting like a extra sensory picture of what's around you, but like you can't be like, oh, I know that there's, you know, like a hollow room above me. Instead, what you get is there's a person with a link above me, and they're wearing a gun that requires link access on their belt.
Whoa! So I can kind of see like Neo a little bit.
Yes. You get a very vague sense of pings around you.
Well, this is different.
What's different?
Nothing. Just you weren't lying about the link.
Why would I lie about the link?
I'm not used to so many of them in one spot.
We make sure that
overwhelming.
All of our personnel receive, if not at birth, a operational upgrade to their brains when they join us.
I think that's impressive. Honestly, I don't really know. I don't know a whole lot about it myself.
My point is that Tramp Freighter, former ambassador to a shattered people, rich kid, I appreciate that you keep tripping over deadly situations. That doesn't mean that I or any of my people answer to you. I appreciate your ability to find danger. I truly do. And I'd like you to keep an eye out for this rogue AI situation going on with MINERVA. I'd truly appreciate it if you could find out more and chase that down, especially the Lost Jadur rifles. But look, you guys have already proven yourselves twice. I can't really ask for any more than that. You've done more than the majority of people who have ever lived in their entire lives for the Perimeter Agency. I'm deeply, deeply grateful.
I feel like you just insulted us and then complimented us back to back.
You're normal, average people.
There's the insult sandwich.
You know, I feel like your definition might be a little skewed, but
well, my
I appreciate what you're saying.
Experience is a bit wider than yours.
Oh no, I appreciate what you're saying. You swim in a different size pond, you know. I get it. You're playing games that I will never know about, and that's just fine. So next steps, you got a little mission for us? Is that what you're saying? If we work for you, we'll hunt down the next Jadur rifles. What?
Just keep your eyes out. You know what the threats are. You've got the Scorpion.
All right. No.
I don't do rewards. I do favors. You perform well, I'll see if I can free up resources to help you. Like with the cure.
Well, that favor's been traded in, and likewise. So here's how I feel about that, Johnson, which is ultimately, if you want to talk to me again, maybe you send me a message, because this thing ain't coming home with me.
I'd prefer it did.
Well, and Quentin reaches out and melts it. He melts it with thermokinesis at that point.
Oh boy.
Oh. Captain, I think we are just stuck in the undertow.
So, Van-Vee, through the link, you are censoring numerous people grabbing those link-capable weapons and converging on the door outside of the room you're in.
Why? I will position, without saying anything, I'm just going to position myself between the door and the captain.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to sit on a table.
Yeah. Quentin's not moving.
Captain, what did you do?
I just, told him that he could give me a phone call.
I don't understand why that was necessary.
We're going to have company in about 2 seconds, Captain. And they're not happy.
The door slides open as you finish your sentence, and the man named Bryce returns in from earlier. You can sense that the people are waiting outside the door for any situation to develop, and he sits down and he says, I don't think you understand how old and how rare that thing you just destroyed was.
But don't.
I'm gonna have to hold you here until we receive orders from Agent Johnson, which may take a short while.
No worries.
Right.
Again, I'm on your side, but I appreciate a little equal tit for tat.
Yeah. So the thing was, what he was about to tell you is that he uploaded old transit charts to Scarfy and back into your ship's computer. I personally authorized that transit. He is a bit grandstanding, but you destroyed our device in the middle of him telling you about it.
Well, that was a mistake.
Right. So
I'll make more.
Here's the thing you need to understand. You're Johnson's pet projects. You're not family. You aren't members of the Perimeter Agency. So think very carefully before you pull this cowboy shit again.
You got it.
You think you're a family? That's funny.
Okay, he stands up. He walks out of the room. He stands in the doorframe. He looks to the right and he says, do it. And you just hear as two gas canisters land in the room and the door shuts.
Like from the table, there's a loud, very loud.
Oh, not again.
MINERVA. It's just MINERVA so wants to be friends with the Perimeter Agency.
We can be. We can be. Well, you know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Quentin. It is fun.
Here's the thing. Everything's my way and you're my bitch. Oh,
yeah, I mean, that was basically what he was saying. To be clear, the way Quentin would view that situation is that the only way he could make Van-Vee, you know, slightly happier in that situation, because he's not happy about working with the Perimeter Agency, is to try to essentially remove the bug from the ship as best he could, and that was the only way he could think to do so.
Really? Because it kind of seemed like you were telling Johnson to fork himself.
Well, maybe that's
that's what I assumed you were doing.
Maybe felt that, but no, I mean, legitimately, it was the only way I could think of to get the bug off the ship. And from my perspective, we will make blunders, and a bug that is constantly watching those blunders feels really dangerous.
Okay.
Well, my existence is just watching gas, and you guys fall over, I guess.
2 minutes after they have been gassed, the ventilation kicks in. Someone comes in and unplugs you from the webcam and microphone, and you're just in your own mind again, MINERVA.
As the fog clears away, you see Van-Vee's face smeared on the table right in front of the webcam. With the way he fell.
Van-Vee, Quentin, you wake up in your rooms on board the ship. You can hear the sounds of Louis and Yono both waking up in rooms adjacent to you. MINERVA, you find yourself plugged into the suit by like local station security, who just he's rammed your core, like you put it in a disc and then the disc goes into the suit. And like he steps back and goes, hey, sorry, I haven't done one of these before. Did that work? Are you okay?
Am I? How does my core feel?
No one did anything lasting to you. They mostly just read surface level code.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking that, but like being jammed in and just being forced into the chassis, like did that do anything to my core?
I mean, this is the ape one, right? I feel like it's ruggedized. It can handle this. Yeah, the sledge. I feel like I can handle this.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll power it up. I'll do a quick systems check. Everything appears to be functioning normally.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess your friends are on board. Listen, you guys are 2 days behind on paying for your parking fees. And I got a notice here that you owe a bill for 2 units of fuel and 123 units of ship stores. That's going to come out to 3,860 credits. Just sign here, please.
Yeah, I'll sign it.
Okay.
Sign agent.
My gigantic hand.
I was fully expecting a random like $800,000 like tack on as like punishment for the melting.
So he slaps your shoulder and goes, "Oh, sorry. Do you even feel that?" So my let's call him my good friend, Carlito, is just, you know, wondering where you guys have been, and he wanted to invite you down to his club. Do you drink or dance or knife fight or anything like that?
Oh my god, get this legend a knife fight.
I believe
I'm sorry,
the
I
answers
just never
to some...
met anybody like you before.
And MINERVA killed her first person in a knife fight dancing.
Oh no, I unfortunately, this body can't enjoy many things, and no, I don't. I try not to engage in knife fights.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked. It seems like you're kind of
That's no
down
problem.
about that. All right, look, I'm gonna clear out of here.
If you don't mind, just a quick question. Whoever gave you the instructions to insert me, did they leave any other instructions or anything for us to know?
Oh, the station security chief sent me down here to, you know, like, some of our people put you back on your ship. You all were in the drunk tank. Any other instructions? No?
Well, I'm glad station security found the rest of the crew. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, no problem. All right, you guys enjoy your day, and hey, we got a crew here to check in on the decontamination chamber. Apparently, it was acting up a couple days ago. It gassed somebody in the face, so you know, if there's a crew in there working on it, you're gonna have to wait until it's done. Is all I'm saying. All right,
I understand.
I'm gonna get out of your hair. You all have a good, you know, life, and hey, welcome to Santiana Station, or goodbye, whatever you're doing.
Well, thank you very much for your time and your help.
All right, he turns
Bye,
away.
Vimy Diamond Shark.
It's not Vimy. That's not, first off, that's not my Vimy Diamond Shark accent.
I'll go back on the ship and go find the crew.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
Quentin
actually
is-
gonna fade to black because we're at midway.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hey guys, remember how you thought it was really bad at the beginning of the episode, and look at where we are now. You're pulling power moves on the
Totally
perimeter
fine.
agency.
No, we didn't even have to pull the trigger once.
Well, it wouldn't work because you have no ammunition in your gun.
This is true.
Are we?
That would have
are
got
we on
like
break?
terrible.
Yeah, oh no,
Oh,
we're
and
not
you
on-
a
well,
psychic gun.
I'm
Oh,
putting
okay.
okay, I'm putting us on break right now. All right, we are well. We're back for the second half. You all wake up.
This goose.
You're awake. According to internal timepieces, you've been out for 72 hours.
72 hours total. Yeah. Or is that 72 hours since they left? Like Quentin was in the airlock, essentially.
It is 72 hours since you docked at this station.
Okay. Cool.
It's now May 1st.
Quentin is getting up shakily from wherever he was, I guess, in his cabin, left and wandering to go find
You immediately get up.
Louis. Louis immediately. Oh, pa-ping, pa-ping.
pa-ping.
Uh-oh. Is he
We
met
had
the
time
phone?
for messages.
The newest message is an indication that the crew corporate account has been accessed to. It's an automated message that crew corporate account has been accessed to pay a bill for 3860 credits. Working backwards, you have 6 messages from Carlito. You have a message from Johnson. You have a message from Bryce from the Perimeter Agency. You have numerous messages in like a spam folder from local psychics who just want to know what's going on. Are their families okay? They just got the news. You have thousands of messages in your spam folder from people on planet who wanted to tell you that, you know, they think you're great and that you're so strong in the face of the adversity your planet is facing.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Okay. Fantastic. He starts with that message from Carlito.
I mean, there's 6 messages from Carlito.
Yeah, all right. The most recent one, or, you know, as we go, let's roll through it. Obviously, where are you? What?
Station security tells me you guys are being held, but you should be out pretty soon. You know, I've been waiting almost a week to meet with you, but hey, listen, you guys did me a real solid. I just really want to show my appreciation for everything you've done for me lately. So drop by at your earliest convenience.
Notice check that shit.
Yeah, can Quentin insight notice check on the
perception wisdom.
Is there anything? Yeah. Fair enough. Where's that roll? Let's find it. There's my notice, and what we do.
Seems a little aggravated, a little put upon.
Sure, it's just because we kept him waiting a week. That's all.
Yeah. All right, Quentin picks that up and then opens the message from Johnson.
Johnson's message is like instructions for how to contact Perimeter Agency. It's a specific message account with the exchange of light in any system. You can contact it and use the authorization code you've been previously given in the message as part of the message's makeup to confirm your identity.
Chairman. Okay. Contact instructions, fantastic. He feels good about that. And Bryce's message.
Bryce's message is basically just like a $200 invoice for firing a weapon inside of the station.
But immediately, you know,
don't pay.
You know, he pays the invoice. That invoice gets paid promptly, of course.
Parking ticket level fee.
I mean, you destroyed a priceless artifact that cannot be replaced, but
for $200, yeah, Quentin's paying that fine.
They're not charging you for the artifact. They're charging you for using a violent psychic power to melt it. It's setting off fire alarms and activating security teams to deal with you.
It.
Yeah, but I guess.
That 1 XP point.
Yeah, well, you were basically at like reputation 80. You were in the highest zone possible, and you have catastrophically fallen with the Perimeter Agency since then.
I didn't know there was a reputation roll. No, it's fair. I mean, it's fair. But he was basically putting the hammer down.
I see Kane go, oh boy, because Minerva's task just got a lot harder.
Yeah, anything Minerva had for any goals were just suddenly tanked.
We'll find him. See, but here's the thing. Minerva can still now talk to Phenomena, theoretically, with maybe slightly less concern about that getting way more complicated. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's more things to not tell Phenomena now.
Yeah, there's things for sure, as always. Yeah, so I guess shipwide, Quentin's gonna start checking in with folks. Hey, is everybody there? Everybody awake?
Iono checks in over all comms and says, "Yeah, I'm here. I think I must have vomited. My mouth tastes weird. We've been out for does anyone know what happened?"
Yeah, to a point. At the very least, to a point. We get ourselves into quite a few pickles. We'll chat about it in a bit. Everybody else active? Who's on the ship?
Your door to your quarters opens and Louis plods in. And just kind of lays on the ground next to you.
Oh, Quentin's like collapsing down on all fours, like scrunching in, going like as deep into that fire as he can get. For sure. Is Van-Vee gonna speak?
I think Van-Vee would say, heading to the bridge, Captain, checking on the ship. And whatever the heck it was Bryce said is now on the ship.
I'm back aboard.
You hear the sound of the elevator locking in place.
Like someone's coming on board?
Yeah, like it came from the bot, because Minerva's chassis was outside the ship.
Oh.
That's where she was left.
Yeah, I'm back aboard, Captain.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess circle up. Let's chat.
Can I just run some diagnostics first, sir? 3 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
3 days. Who knows what they could have done to this baby?
I'll come to you. No worries.
Bam. Dunk.
Yeah, these.
Let's make a mechanics check.
I don't know if this matters. I was gonna ask Minerva could similarly do a diagnostics check.
Minerva doesn't need a roll to do that. She's basically the best programmer in the whole sector.
Sorry, what kind of check did you say? Fix?
Yeah, fix intelligence.
Boom, baby.
Okay.
That'll do.
So they didn't do much except near electronic equipment, specifically back in the engineering bay. They pulled a lot of the stuff relating to memory and logging out and then put it back in. The ship overall, I mean, look, it's up for maintenance pretty soon. It's 6 months maintenance, and it is like 70 years old, but probably the big thing is that the fusion engine will need to be reignited because someone turned it off. So before you leave the station, you're going to have to go through like the 30-minute procedures of turning it on, or you could try to cold start it in about 1 minute if you want to get real frisky.
Yeah, but one of those old cranks and just rotate.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Not how that works. Other than that, everything checks out A-OK. Minerva, pretty much every possible data log on this ship has been scoured. It doesn't look like anything's been removed as far as you know, but a lot of it has definitely been read and copied.
Okay. Do I notice anything that's been added?
Nope. I mean, other than a whole bunch of messages incoming to the ship in the buffer.
So there's no map to Scarfy.
Oh, yes. I did mention that Bryce did upload that. Yes, there are 4 new course rudders from 0602 to 0601, 0601 to 0700, and reverse. They are, of course, hundreds of years old, but they do count towards the greater than 5 years old. Makes it significantly more likely you'll succeed.
Yeah.
That seems like very dangerous information to have in the ship's computers.
And yet, you asked for it to some extent.
Yeah. I think I'm going to copy those rudders to my internal memory.
Okay.
And I'm going to wipe them from the computer.
Very well. Van-Vee, I think you get a notice as the ship's pilot that, you know, like you're running diagnostics and you get like a little beep beep that like 4 course rudders have been removed. Little notification flag that comes up for a minute and then slowly fades into the background as it gets more transparent.
Minerva, please tell me that was you.
You'll need to be more specific.
Oh, come on now. You know what I'm talking about. The
Doing like 1,000 things.
4 rudders that we just had are now gone.
Yes, I did do that.
Where'd they go?
I'm storing those rudders internally.
Oh, well, guess I can't think of too much of a safer option, so there's that.
As much as I'm sure it's intended for us to be able to use and for all of us to be there for its use, anybody else who decides to try to muck around in the ship's computers would be able to get very dangerous information.
Couldn't you just, like encrypt them Ain't no one can break your encryptions.
I can, but my encryptions are unique and advanced.
Oh my
I
god.
feel like that supports my
Encryption
case.
seller, I need your strongest encryptions. My encryptions are too advanced for you.
Yes, beautiful. Oh my god.
Well,
They would be. I certainly could do so, but they could be suspicious.
well, okay. All right. I guess I wouldn't mind having, not right this second, of course, but in case something goes haywire with you again, I wouldn't mind having a copy of those myself, just because it does lead back to where I'm from. Not right now, but maybe something for the future. Just single point of failure right now is you, and you've been compromised before. Just makes me a little nervous. I agree it's better than the ship, but this one's a little personal to me.
Well, if you'd like to view them, we already have a setup that the captain has used. You can join me and see them. I'm not hiding them from the crew. I'm just hiding them from others.
I will try to commit them to memory, I guess. Is that a thing you can do with course rudders? I don't think so, but I'll try.
I mean, you're an incredible navigator. I'll just ask you for a piloting roll to commit it.
That's cool.
Intelligence piloting. Look,
Then
you know how to get to your job, right? Like, you reflexively know how to drive it well enough that unless traffic gets frisky, you can basically shut your mind off for most drivers. You study these enough?
yeah, and I would attempt to do that. Yeah.
Sure. You need a 12.
Oh yeah.
Pilot roll, you
This is
said?
the test.
I mention this not because I'm going to deny this at all. I'm not hiding this from the crew.
He
But
says as he denies it.
No. But understand that as we continue to work with refugees, that telepaths will be able to take this from your mind.
It's too late. As you say that, Van-Vee has Sherlock Holmes' mind palace.
Yeah.
The twists and turns of
She's just trying to. If Minerva's just trying to make sure that he's aware that that is a thing, that now he knows something that's dangerous to know.
As you warn him of
so
a
it's going to
very
be no
real
effort to stop
danger.
it.
He hits a 13.
Luckily, I've got a psionic friend here who can hopefully help me protect him if needed from other psionics. I don't know.
Van-Vee, we actually haven't talked about the message you have from Johnson.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
It's dated earlier today, not too long ago. The RE line is wake up, and the message says, I think you'll want to know that I have been investigating your friends. They have a independent consciousness that they have been suppressing, which is now operating in their bodies. I was fully willing to allow you to continue riding that body, but while you were out, all of our sensor data indicates that you are essentially a mirror of your biological impulses. Your brain operates both inside your meat skull and outside in your dust. So we've given you the code name around the office, the Lich, because technically, if your brain was damaged, you would still be able to operate as long as the dust is there with your full natural persona intact. So you don't need to get a pass from me today, Lich. Signed, your number one fan, Agent Johnson.
I'd like to respond in all ASCII characters, flipping the bird.
You
Oh my God.
You get a mailer demon when you try to send it to this address.
Oh, that figures. So I just get the flipping the bird coming right back at me. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Do I have a message from Agent Johnson?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question.
Nope.
You are the message.
Are there any other messages? Because I think the other thing Van-Vee would be interested in is checking in on, trying to locate. I'm assuming he sees the news at some point, trying to figure out where Sophie, his brother and sister
You
are.
have no messages from Sophie or the rest of your family.
It's troubling. That's troubling. Okay.
We get any messages from Fiona?
Finana? No, not yet.
Fiona? Okay.
Quentin would like to reach out to Dr. Fish and just check in to see if she's doing okay.
All right.
Just sends a message, whether she responds or not.
About 2 minutes later, you get a live communication request from Dr. Fish.
He accepts it.
Okay. Mr. Polk, you can see that she's on like a space dock.
Doctor, how you doing?
I'm preparing to go home. Just about 6
Awesome.
hours away from my ship docking, refueling, and preparing to head out to Lita.
Is there anything I can do to get you some extra supplies, or you need anything?
I've wrangled up what I can afford to bring with me. You've paid me handsomely for the work I did with you. I'm reinvesting it into people of Lita.
Cannot thank you enough. I just want to make sure you were okay. We've, things get interesting and they stay interesting with us. And I don't blame you one bit for going your own way. But
Right. Is there anything else?
sorry, no, that's all. That's all I needed. Just wanted to make sure things were all right on your end.
Have a good life.
Safe travels.
Hangs up the call.
One thing on the vein of diagnostics and other things, Quentin would like to try to reach out psionically and just scour as much of the ship as he can, see if there's anything out of place.
I mean, non-psionically, the fusion, and this is the first time you've ever had the fusion engine on the ship off.
Oh yeah.
So there's like the lack of a vibration that you've kind of gotten used to. The ship is silent, quiet, still. I feel like just non-psychically, you get the idea that it's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
As its captain for almost a full year, and this has essentially become your home, the most important object
Quentin,
in your life.
he's definitely doing the thing where he's walking around and the light touches on like various machinery as he's going.
I want to imagine we get like slight flashbacks of like the day you bought the ship, going through here.
Yeah.
Got a Q-tip
Nice,
out there cleaning the front window.
It's actually my
Mhm.
favorite Firefly episode is the one where, he's
So
like,
good.
this is a great ship. And he's like, no, I want the Firefly over there.
That's a good mystery. I love it. Little minor key music playing in the background for sure. Other than that, though, he senses nothing. He just feels
Nothing psychic on board.
the weight. Yeah, okay. The weight of silence. He's comfortable with that. Well,
The sound of silence.
I would say not so much comfortable with it, but it is something that he actually, in some ways, has been seeking.
Well, the sledge is trying to be unobtrusive with its size and the cockpit to the side a little bit with Van-Vee while we wait for the captain.
And he would come back, yeah.
You bam fan, and there's absolutely no space because the sledge is in there.
Quentin will sit in the sledge's lap. And
Where do we get this new chair?
Banners. Get to it.
and
You sit
he
down
does
and
bring
you
up
get
the
this
message.
really awkward hug with these giant arms.
He pats one. Yeah. He does bring up the messages from Carlito and says, well, we got that open invitation. This is about the only thing I got left to do here. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty damn nervous to go to this damn thing. Our track record lately seems to be putting us and myself in quite a bit of danger. So I have no idea what to do. But yeah, how the hell should we approach this thing?
Well, I feel like if we came all the way here and we didn't go say hi, we'd certainly be making an enemy.
Yes. Yeah, that's a bridge too far. So definitely got to go say hi in some fashion.
I don't think any of us should go alone. That's for sure. Unless you were planning on bamfing out of there, Captain. I can't really keep up with that, but
well, I'll stay, close enough to me, and you're coming with me on that ride. No problem. Minerva, you comfortable clomping around station with us? I'd feel more comfortable with a big sizable beast nearby, but honestly, I don't know what's best right now. And I barely know.
It would not be remotely subtle. How would you explain if asked why you have a sledge traveling with you?
I don't know, you want to carry a heavy box along the way? We got any presents to give?
I'm trying to, didn't we put something in our smuggling container like a long time ago? I don't know if we've ever moved it.
Your ship thing, right? Like, didn't it get put in there?
No,
that's what we put
it's been in the cargo bay.
Okay.
Cargo bay.
Well,
Yeah,
we put something in there. I don't know what it was though.
I could certainly carry a crate if you have some idea.
But the only excuse I can think of to bring that thing along, that's all. No. Van-Vee, you got any ideas?
We came all the way to Carlitos and we didn't bring a gift.
Well, let's see. What would he like?
I watch too much Disney. I'm just thinking of whatever that Maya movie is with the dragons. Like, you need to bring a gift. Bring everyone a gift.
No, Quentin does perk up a little bit. He's like, honestly, Van-Vee, that's not the worst thought in general. There's a degree of, showing up with a guest gift that I think might actually culturally be appropriate in this scenario. So maybe we take a quick search through the local shopping district.
I wonder, as a man as involved as he is, what if I've never done this before, nor do I know the rules. You'd have to tell me how long this would take, but I try to fashion him a custom knife or a custom blade, something that, one of a kind just for him. Could start with something basic and then I don't know, modify it a little bit.
I like that idea.
You can tell him we got it in some other system. He doesn't need to know it started here. And then I just modified the crap out of it until it became unique. Maybe offers a little more advantage for someone of his strength, maybe.
It's not a bad idea by any means. It's certainly a nice callback to one of our first conversations, if nothing else.
When Bryce, I think it was Bryce, mentioned the knife fights, flashed back to when I was like, oh, I thought I could maybe join it. And then I saw Carlito go in the knife fight, and I was like, oh, never mind. I don't want to fight with him.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to craft up a swanky custom knife of some kind?
Yeah, something that's like, I don't know, given his build, something, heavier that he could handle and maybe inflict a bit more.
Something that you can cook up in a couple of hours.
I don't know. Sure.
We can take the time we think we need. Yeah, I mean,
how long do you want to take?
Let's see. Quentin could send a message saying we just got out of the tank and set a time in the morning, mid-morning the following day to go.
That's work-wise, would probably not want to do anything more than 12 hours worth before it becomes suspicious.
Make a fixed intelligence roll. You're trying to make some sort of mini machete?
Yeah. Damn these ones. How does that happen?
It's not bad.
2 ones.
It's a 10. You get a pretty good
re-rolled
looking...
a 1 into a 1 again.
I know, it's
commenting on.
Yeah.
It's pretty good knife. I mean, given the fact that you forged it in 12 hours.
12 hours.
Spaceship.
I would specifically be trying to remove any markings that make it like would say, "Hey, found or made in Midapile system," like something that he can clearly tell came from this planet.
Yeah.
Ooh, could Quentin use telekinesis to help?
Sure. I assume that you forged it out of like shit that you found in the ship's locker, and then just like
even better. Yeah.
Burned into the shape of and rehammered it and stuff. Full tang.
Minerva interested in this. I will turn on the drive though.
Okay.
Oh yeah, good idea.
So we can get everything back situated to normal.
It's a little touchy of a process, but you get it turned back on over the course of a half an hour. The ship
and then I'm probably silent for the rest of its life.
Yeah, in that time, Quentin would go check in on Iono. Like, he wouldn't just ignore her during that time frame by any means. Just, again, knock on the door, explain what he felt like was, I don't know, what he felt like he could explain. But I guess he would check in with Minerva and Van-Vee beforehand in terms of what are we supposed to not say to her?
Oh, boy.
I don't even know if I've had a chance to talk to her about the Circle of Eight yet. Never mind that.
You haven't. The last thing
everything that's happened since.
So she saw you kill your father, and then one day later, she has no memory of the ship being stormed and being taken in. She just has been told that she was in the drunk tank with the three of you.
Minerva would recommend saying nothing about perimeter agency.
Van-Vee would just recommend that he not be there for the conversation if the last thing she remembers is me shooting my dad.
and by extension, nothing about the capture, nothing having to do with it. That also would include Amy Johnson. That's Minerva's recommendation.
I think it's a fair enough recommendation in general. What Quentin would say to Iono is essentially explaining that Van-Vee's dad was involved in some insane conspiracy, and that's the reason that we had the treatment that we got on the planet, because he had apparently hit his breaking point or whatever it was. The house of cards he built was starting to fall. He made some extreme decisions on the ship where he was about to kill all of us, and Van-Vee stopped him from doing that, which was in some ways enough to get us some goodwill. But that conspiracy was vast and far-reaching, and that part of the resolution of that and getting back on, good terms in some way, shape, or form with Midapile was the government picking us up one more time.
Okay. All right, she just nods through it. And at the end of it, she says, you want to go, get a crew dinner on the station? I know that you guys don't really eat together or eat food from anywhere that isn't cooked in the galley made by an artificial intelligence without taste buds, but, I just thought it would be nice to just celebrate my graduation ceremony. And maybe just have apparently we must have already celebrated it pretty hard, but since I don't remember that.
You know what? I can think of literally nothing better to do right now. Let's get everybody together. Yeah. Dinner it is.
I want to imagine that Quentin, Van-Vee, and Iono are walking with the boys are back in town playing, and it's like the slow-mo, like they look really epic, and the camera zooms out slightly, and Minerva's just ominously walking beside them.
I feel like
crowd is like,
I feel like for like a cover, I've taken one of the back, like an equipment backpack out of one of the lockers, and I've put it on my chest. So I walk. So it
you
just
look
looks
like a
like
loading butt. Yeah.
So I'm just carrying shit.
fully regretting not getting the Hello Kitty cover on the processing unit. But
I thought
would have
you were
really
gonna do
helped
it.
to help you blend in. I just
One of my favorite parts about The Mandalorian is that they've established that it's canon, that the bar that originally was no droids allowed is now owned by droids.
Yes, yeah, I love that.
That's fun.
Put themselves out of business with a policy like that.
I think just before we were to go out, Van-Vee would want to send a message to Sophie just to see if she would respond where she's at, if she's okay, how we can help.
You get an automatic flag that the message will be sent via the Exchange of Light network. The account that you're looking for isn't in system, and it'll be sent out by the nearest ships in every direction until it finds its destination.
Mm.
But I know if there's a way to fake that. Like, can you fake you're not in system?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, and it would really piss the bank off.
True. Yeah. Okay.
Like, there is just a status like, I'm not accepting messages right now, and that's not what you're getting.
Gotcha.
There's a D&D setting, do not disturb. That's not what's turned on here.
And it looks just like the presenting icon. God knows why it's the same stinking icon for both of them. Okay. Then,
Is that a motherfucking Zoom reference? Sorry, I'm doing JoJo. Is that a JoJo meme?
Well, I think I would show the group the knife when I'm finished with it and say, "You're ready to go to Carlito's, I guess." Do we have a box or something to put this in? I'll find something.
So who's Carlito?
Oh, we're with Iono right now. I think that was the confusion.
Yes.
Oh.
So
Never mind.
she's surprisingly not weird with you right now, Van-Vee.
No.
Oh God, I've lowered the bar so much. She's just used to it.
Instead of the "I can't be here with him," she's like, I guess that's what he is.
It's just a Monday.
I am going to say it is her job to... She's a contractor whose job is to stay with this crew.
She's in eyes and ears as well. So just so we're clear.
Why don't you vaporize this one too?
Yeah, I was gonna say, please don't light this one on fire.
Can't melt her.
Let's not find out.
Well, we'll see.
Good to see you. Carlito's an old friend, I guess.
Yeah, one of the first jobs we did when we got the goose.
We've kind of been unintentionally putting him off for a while. I don't think he's very happy. So we thought we'd bring him a gift.
Okay.
So where's dinner? Where are we heading?
She brings you to a Chili's place. Not the restaurant Chili's. A chili place.
Oh.
It's called Joe's Slops. So they serve the chili by the bucket.
I like the sound of this place.
What's the bucket look like? Yeah.
It looks like a old-timey miner bucket.
Yeah, there we go.
Remember that this system is really big on space mining.
Yeah, for sure.
So the mascot is like a dude with like a huge beard and a pickaxe and a spacesuit. When you approach the front of the door, it goes, "Joe Slops," is what it sounds like. And a waitress wearing like a spacesuit approaches you and says, "Welcome to Joe's Slops. You want 3 buckets with or without cornbread?"
Oh, cornbread for sure.
Extra cornbread. And can we get a bucket of beer too?
A bucket of beer. Got it. Neono goes, "I'll have the vegan." And she goes, "Right. Okay, so 1 cornbread, 1 with double cornbread, 1 vegan with no cornbread. All right. I'm going to take you to your table now. Thank you for your patronage."
I feel like she's gonna need a big tip, sir. She's having a rough go.
Joe Slops. Yeah. All right. Let's.
Would you like a reinforced seat for your service android?
Quentin's looking up at the slip. No, it'll park itself.
It's just like the opposite of a booster seat.
Your waiter will be Santoro. Thank you for your patronage again. She leaves you there. You're sitting in a half circle, of seats around a table that's it's like a little sticky. And it comes preceded with like washed but not sparkling silverware. About 30 seconds later, someone comes out with 3 buckets that are filled. Like it's a lot of chili. Let me just be really clear. It's like several cups of chili.
Is there like a lid for this, like to go the bucket?
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey guys, name's Santoro. I'll be taking care of you. Listen, if you need it to go, we got this is a spaceship rendering cup. It's fine. They look like urine sample cups, just bigger. Don't worry about it. Hey, welcome to Joe's Slops. If you need another bucket, let me know. We got 16 seasonings here, and I got some Tabasco and Cholulas.
Oh, hit us with that hot sauce. You stay sloppy, my friend.
All right, and here's your bucket of beer.
Van-Vee immediately grabs a beer, catches himself, opens it, and then hands it to Iono.
And Iono's like, I'll drink to that. I'll drink to Dr. Iono Kanto a second time.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
Yeah.
I think Minerva's trying to make sure that nothing looks overly articulated. So there's the gesture to do a toast, and I'll just like mechanically pick one up and just sort of up and down it once or twice and then leave it there hanging in the air.
You go to cheers and smash someone else's bottle so hard they break.
So there's a bunch of different like hot sauce. So there's 2 hot sauces, Tabasco and Cholulas. Then there's a bunch of different like seasonings with names like Southern Pepper or the Princess's Own. And then there's 4 that are like burn your butt, problem all week, life-changing event, and the black hole.
Oh dear. Oh, Quentin sees the black hole and he's having visions. He's having visions.
I can't do another black hole. Does this one also talk to me in weird ways?
Exactly. Maybe it does. He does.
Minerva, can you bring
Van-Vee, though?
Can you bring your suit a little closer to black hole? Just might be someone in there that wants to talk to you.
What do you think, Van-Vee? How hot can you go?
Given we're seeing Carlito tomorrow, I think I'm just going to go with what was it? Burn my butt. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around there. Any hotter, I may not be on my game tomorrow.
Well, Quentin picks up the next hotter one, whichever that
Problems
is.
next week. Yeah. So
Problems next week.
Iono gestures for you to hand it to her when you're done.
Yeah. Passes it right along. Quentin definitely like douses.
Oh goodness.
Well, Van-Vee, tuck in.
All right.
I think now because of that, he's going to go the one up above that. So not black hole.
Oh, life-changing
there
event.
we go.
Yeah, so he's going life-changing event now.
Okay, so Quentin, I need you to make a physical saving throw at a -5, and Van-Vee, you make it at a -10.
Oh, fuck.
All right. Oh, no.
I should have stayed with Bumburn.
You don't. You have a -5. You pass. You still.
I
pass.
added the -5. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I need. There's only 2 numbers that can make me pass. Yeah.
Oh.
Van-Vee, this gets in your mouth. It tastes spicy. You get it down. You get a few gulps in, and then you realize that it has like an additive building effect. And then your stomach starts rumbling, and you're like, "Oh boy, it tastes so good." You're basically crying. Snot is running out of your nostrils. It's the best chili you've ever had, and you know that you're gonna have problems later. You've already doomed yourself.
You might, in fact, have problems next week.
Yeah.
I start a 1 hour countdown on my watch. to make sure I'm back near the ship in
The
that
cold
time.
beer gives you a temporary relief.
Yeah, I feel like this is just. I mean, Van-Vee was already planning on drinking quite a bit given the recent events. This is just accelerating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Quentin
can
is
hear
keeping
people in the
pace.
background. They're talking about the royal princess. There's a lot of discussion about the recent pirate attacks. You can hear the news going on about a new secret task force being formed to fight the pirates. And something about a new band that's coming out that's going ultra viral called the Purple Tail Feathers.
I think when Van-Vee hears something about the pirates, he just, if it's later in the evening, he just holds beer. Yeah, fuck those pirates. They're the ones that attacked his family, so he's kind of like getting a little tipsy.
Quentin would wander over, see if he could find a jukebox to play this Purple Tail Feathers and see what it's all about.
Okay. You put on Purple Tail Feathers, and like 6 people go, what the fudge? And somebody goes, heck, buddy, we don't need any of that pop music around here. I like the classics, all right? And he adjusts his glasses, and a real redneck goes, you know what? You guys shut your craw holes. This is a public jukebox, okay? You keep doing what you're doing. Fuck authority.
Quentin holds up his fist. Hell yeah.
Purple Tail Feathers is, I mean, it's, look, the thing about making fake musical genres, right, is that you're really just referencing. It's very 50s, like, you know, like the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you know, like that.
Doo-wop.
It's 3 young women doing that. So the jukebox also has like a little display showing their dance. They literally have giant like peacock purple tail feathers.
Nice.
To their dance outfits with a scandalous amount of legs showing for midipile.
Quentin's tapping his toes, and he would go ask if Yona wants to dance to it. If there is a dance thing, if people are doing that. If it's not, then he wouldn't do that. Because
I mean,
just make your own
the
dance
two
floor.
of you do it. She's sufficiently drunk that she's going in on this.
There you go. We gotta celebrate.
She's
I really
fueled
thought you were
by-
going to go Sleemile.
I mean, you're
make it to
talking
Cress
about the
Wayside.
industrial sounds of the mech bay. That's also a rap opera mix. The
Nice.
only
Yeah.
other musical genre I've ever successfully made that people give a shit about. Sleemile.
That's in the Perimeter Agency archives. They're keeping that on lockdown.
So you're
Keep that
saying
for
that
themselves.
Battletech is canon in this universe?
Sleemo is maybe. I don't know.
Sleemo.
They have sex.
All
They
right.
did say someone just built new mechs, didn't they?
There's suddenly a
That's a
poster in
different
the
sector.
background that says Immortal Warrior, Dragon Clash in the Kingdom of Ice in the background for no apparent reason.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I forgot, in one of the first episodes, we established that Solaris Knights is a comic book series in universe, so
Yeah, that's right.
Sleemo may actually exist now that I think about it.
That's fair.
It's
Is Vader
legit.
O's canon? Yes, let's say that it is. That's what a callback. That's like 8 years. Yeah. Unless there's anything else you want to do, I'd Star Wars screen wipe us to you outside of Carlitos.
Beautiful.
You arrive mid-morning. It's a dance club where people do drugs and have night fights, so clearly mid-morning, not open.
A bit quieter.
There's a bouncer outside who says, "Oh, Mr. Quentin, Vantis. Boss is waiting for you inside. He wants to thank you for
Beautiful.
everything you've done for us." He opens
You
the
know-
door and gestures for you to go inside.
First of all, Quentin's got his armor up. It's invisible. Nobody can see this. He's got a pressure field active on himself and Van-Vee.
Sure.
What else can I do to prepare?
Did they
All I can think of.
take any of our weapons or anything? Or just
No. I mean, just as a reminder, you can't wear armor on the station, but carrying weapons is fully legitimate. You have not, however, mentioned that you ever reloaded your pistol, so
That's true.
Yeah.
I do.
empty.
I mean, I carry extra battery packs on me. I
So
thought.
he's-
And
Right.
yet
He has-
you've never,
he
you
just
specifically
has-
said you've never reloaded it. So if you
This is
don't
true.
tell me you've reloaded it, I'm going to assume it's dry.
Yeah.
No, he's
Eventually,
trying
he
so
leaves it.
hard to be just like his dad. He's got it empty so he can punch somebody and take theirs.
That's right.
While he takes
The
their
disarm.
sunglasses.
So
Just feels
I would
better.
assume I have extra battery packs on my person though.
Yeah. You have a ship's locker. You definitely, your ship's locker can just, and you have an armory. You can just spontaneously generate a small, reasonable amount of equipment that you need for any job. So if you want to just say you have extra ammunition on you. But again, until you tell me you've reloaded it, I'm assuming it's empty.
Yeah, I have not reloaded it. I just have
Okay.
extra
Sure.
battery cells on my person.
There we go.
As usual, I don't have a weapon.
Well, suppose let's mosey on in.
So your powers let you detect when there's another psychic using a power nearby, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you go into the club, there are 4 psychics currently using powers.
What powers and directed where?
2 of them are telepaths that are directing it at various people in this facility. One of them is using a power to see if you are using a power.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is just pressure fielding himself.
Okay. Okay. If anyone directs telepathy at myself or Van-Vee, I would like to know immediately.
So you mark the 2 guys that the 2 other psychics are telepathically following. Like, if you want to ask me about them later, I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it's those 2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to ask about them now. Can I use that? Like, who do they
Well,
look like? What do they look
unfortunately, Carlito appears at the 2nd floor and he says,
like? Okay.
Captain Quentin, my good man, come on up here. Let's party. The whole room
Carlito.
full of people turn and start slow clapping, and then it gets faster and faster and faster. Somebody gets one of those like like a New Year's Eve type thing. Somebody's throwing confetti. People start breaking out semi-legitimate drugs and alcohol everywhere.
This
Yeah,
is
Quentin's
good.
not smiling, but he's not like, angry face, but it's just totally neutral. Like, so confetti glittering down around his head, neutral face. Not sure. But
Carlito gestures
Carlito?
you to come up to the 2nd floor and then goes into his like 2nd floor private viewing booth where he can see everything going on the 1st floor.
Classic. Quentin waits for, folks to follow him and heads that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I go.
I think if Carlito sits, then
Oh,
Van-Vee
he's seated
present-
for sure. He's lighting a cigarette and he gestures for you to sit down and he says, my good friends, where's Minerva?
Oh, she's keeping an eye on the ship for us.
Okay. Listen, I really just have to thank you guys for everything you've done for me.
Is that right?
Can Van-Vee now make a notice check?
Sure, notice wisdom.
All right, well, that sucks.
He seems hungover and strung out.
I love ones. I really do. I would like to present him with the box with the handmade machete.
He opens it. He goes, oh, Santa Maria, you got me a gift?
Yeah, well,
What
you
reckoning for this occasion, my friend? Why would you get me a gift?
no, it's just been a while. Took us a while to get here. We feel bad about that.
And listen, my fortunes have truly changed due to your actions. So much is different.
Keep saying that.
Yes.
And I agree. So much is different. So much is different. Why don't you tell me how things have changed for you?
Surely you know.
I know about Mark Marino.
Yeah, Mark Marino, Lante Valentina. competition.
I know about them. I know what they're
Yeah,
responsible for.
sure. Now look, here's
Don't
the
know where
thing.
you stand.
All right. You all seem so grave, so serious, my friends. It's like taking the knife and he's waving it around. You've done me such a good service. All of the psychics in the organization have fallen into my hands. So you can't leave this life. But I seem like a reasonable, well-heeled individual next to a zealot firebrand and a mass-murdering psychopath.
That you do.
Shipping captains, they aren't like you. They are not adventurers. They don't take dangerous jobs. They want steady smuggling that makes them big money for low risk. They want to be business partners with a man, and he's like tapping his head with the flat of the blade, who's got something going on up here. I've lost almost everything I have on Omora 9, and I weep for those losses. But the majority of the rest of the organization has fallen into my hands. I am pulling in untold contracts and wealth, people and governments I never thought I'd be able to get my fingers into. Can you imagine what the Calinomian market is worth right now? No one is shipping anything there. I don't even have to ship drugs there. I ship toilet paper, and I make 10 times the value back.
Well, you are a consummate businessman. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So I arranged a little surprise present for you, my friend. And he slides a little data disc that has a little, like, message ready light blinking on it. Go ahead.
Fix it up.
Okay. You hear the sound of the Phanana Fleet, like, theme logo. It's a jingle. And you see a sort of affluent, like, British, Japanese, ethnic mixed man standing there and says, "Hello, I'm Jim Satoshi, and I wanted to talk to Captain Quentin about a deal. Several of my good friends and contacts have informed me that you're still using one of our old junker ships. I've taken a look at your accounts records and taken into consideration your close status with our highest level of management and our contractors. I'm willing to offer you this," and you see that he's been like walking along. The camera zooms out. He is walking on the outside of the hull of a cruiser. And you can see that it starts sending you specifications. The ship is entirely white with black accent marking. It is completely new. Like, you could see that in the background, people are still working on it. I am sending you the stats now on Discord.
Okay.
This is the Showman class of modular cruisers. This particular one seems to fit your crew's specific needs. We've also upgraded it for your personal needs with electronic support so that your small crew will still be capable of operating such a large, long-range, exploration-capable vessel that's also capable of running support, first aid operations, moving heavy cargo. It has a workshop on board that you can use to fabricate new technologies. He puts his hands behind his back and the camera zooms back in and continues walking forward. We've pre-approved your credit for this ship. I'm willing to talk about a trade-in with your current model to move up to this, the Showman class modular cruiser Determination. Come speak with me in... Hold on a second. I have the ship open, so I forgot where he's at. In the Halt system, Planet Kos on Slipway 13. I'm Jim Satoshi, and I'm a good friend of Carlito Sinistra. And he picks up a champagne flute and he toasts the camera, and then the message ends as he's like putting it back down on the table.
That's quite the introduction.
My friend Jim tells me he'd be looking at something in the 12 million range. Probably arrange for financing, nothing down. You trade your ship in. Could look at a pretty serious upgrade. Your old little salvage cruiser.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to take this contact. I'm going to definitely seriously consider this offer. I appreciate you passing it my way.
You need to go soon. These things are flying off the shelves. Everybody wants a showman.
I bet they do. She's a beaut. Gonna have to talk it over with my compatriots, of course, and make sure we make the best decision for ourselves.
Your needs meet. Just a little something that came across my desk. I talked to my guy Jim, and it seemed like something that could go your way. It's a little too
showy for you.
Mission non-specific.
Ah, gotcha.
And you know, your ship has pretty nice cargo base, right? Little smuggling hold as well, maybe?
Got a couple nooks and crannies.
He gives you a wink and he says, I think you sell this, you buy this ship from Jim, you sell your old ship. I think I got a pretty good idea where the Golden Goose is going to end up.
She's got a little sentimental value, you know. Hard to say goodbye to.
Hardly a done deal. Of course. Listen, my friend, I'm ambushing you with this. My greatest thanks and felicitations.
Yeah, and well, I got to be honest. This is a more positive reception than I was initially expecting. I had really no idea how this was going to go. Mostly because I had no idea what the fallout on your end was going to be. I'll tell you right away, I'm very happy to hear that you are, on the other side of this thing from your ex-partners there, Marino and shoot her names.
They're still, Lante Valentina and Marino are still my partners. The Trinity Corporate Alliance has to have 3 heads. That's tradition. That's how it works. But the 2 of them are battling for rats on Omora 9. They've locked me out of the station. And that does mean some of the traditional halls of power are no longer available to me. But honestly, the one who's delivering the drugs, that's who's the one picking up the cash. So we're moving production off-site.
Well, Carlito, I really like this ship opening you've given me, and I appreciate that. The thing I'm most interested in, and I'm curious about where your interests might lie, is sure, the Trinity Corporate Alliance requires a nice triumvirate of leadership, but who's to say it has to be Mark Marino and Lante Valentina? What's your openness to helping me change that?
Let me ask you a question. You are a man with enemies.
Couple.
You prefer them to be competent or incompetent?
Well,
I like my enemies right where they are. I can see them. I know them. They're bad at what they do. I know you're looking for revenge, but there's another way.
I'm listening.
I'm looking to move production off-world. To a world that is friendly to manufacturing. A world that does not have strong drug laws. A world that could use regular external transport, bringing in cargo, people, supplies, and taking local goods out, stimulating the economy.
well, Carlito, I do appreciate the interest in. I assume you're speaking to Lita.
I am
in this scenario. I appreciate your interest in, improving the local economy and opening up some shipping lanes to get much needed supplies there.
This is sounding like a no.
So out of character, I'm just thinking if he started doing trade with Lita, we could try to use that to help us build an outpost and expand our organization on Lita and help your people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Kane is so thirsty for that. For the long-term goal keeps fumbling out of his hands, and he's doing whatever he can to grasp.
It's been like 2 months since I've gotten any progress on it. But it's in your best interest too. I mean, it's the only
are you saying something to Quentin?
I mean, I'd send him a text suggesting as well, basically.
Okay.
Quentin would probably feel a ping or a vibration, look at that message, nod a little bit, and he would look at Carlito and say, well, here's the thing, Carlito. I got a couple problems, more than a few, really at the end of the day, and opening up some supplies for Lita is very interesting to me. I don't think I can feel comfortable with too much of a heavy presence on Lita itself, technology-wise and manufacturing. The folks there are, I'd say, a little averse to direct development, but there is some ruins in orbit that I was personally hoping on turning into an actual fully functioning space station, potentially a home base for the organization that I've been working on.
Are you offering me this space station gratis?
No, sir. What I am offering is, a berth, a place on board. I'm certainly not asking you to rebuild the thing yourself.
We can do that. We have the resources. You give us a foothold above your planet, and we will turn it into a thriving hub of commerce.
Well, and that's what I'm interested in, is you working on that commerce, sure. But
he gives you a hard look when you say but, and he says, hold on. I'll take care of your problems for you as well.
Which problem's that?
Monte Valentina. Marino.
Oh, man.
You give me the rights to the space station in perpetuity. We set up thriving commerce and lighters to bring cargo down to the planet as needed. We get full commercial rights and authority, control of the station, and I will have your enemies eliminated by next week.
Quentin's like he can't fully process that. He's slowly setting down his drink, and his eyes haven't left Carlito's.
Carlito takes a long drag of a cigarette, but he's looking at you the whole time as he does the bull smoke coming out of his face. He's playing hardball. He wants the deal. I know about the station you're talking about. Unwanted visitors, spies to your planet, I think. Changes hands every few months. I'm talking about stability, not a broken down collection of trash, but something reformed into a real space station.
That's what I want. That's what I want as well. And
I want to provide it to you, but I gotta sell it to my organization.
And I know you do, and so do I, to a certain degree, because the folks at Lita need to know that they can trust who's floating above them, and so I can't give you.
Can't see a space station in orbit. They don't even have telescopes.
They got friends and family and folks who get off that world and go do things too. Not that many. I'm one of a handful at this point, but they still exist. I'm looking out for their interests, even if they may not be able to look out for theirs. That's what's important to me.
Your interests.
And I am happy to continue to make your life better and to give you more
I'm looking
resources.
to offer you a hand of friendship in a time of need.
Hey, that hand's offered right back at you. What I'm trying to tell you is that I can't give you the full dinner here, but I'm willing to give you half my plate.
What is half the plate?
What is half the plate? You want half the station? You want guaranteed offices on the station? Fine. It's yours. But I need some of those offices for I need some of that station for the Order of the Golden Goose. That's important to us, important to Lita, important to my well-being and understanding that that station will always be dedicated to her self-defense.
I want half of the current tonnage of the station in perpetuity and full commerce rights for our half and free development. Whatever we decide to add and build on, you allow.
Pending engineering approval from a shared board that we will put together
Of course,
to make sure
joint
that
control
doesn't
down the line.
Of course. I think I can be amenable to that relationship.
He finally puts the knife in his right hand down by stabbing it into his very nice seat and puts his right hand across the table.
Quentin reaches across.
There's no need to sign paperwork. It's a done deal. If you'll excuse me for a moment. He stands up and he walks back to the bar area. You see that he's looking at the two people that his psychics are following, and he says, Creek, could you please execute Juanita and Sanchez? Begin the purge. And a dude just walks up behind both of them and just stabs them in the back of the neck.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that the second Order 66 in the same episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, his psychics were watching the spies from the rest of the... Yeah.
You are nothing if not efficient, Carlito.
Well, you know, one of the best ways to let your enemy keep an eye on you is to let them behind you. It's much easier when you can read their mind. And I didn't have nearly so many telepaths working for me until your little stunt, so...
My stunt? Yeah.
Well, hey, you have them running scared.
Good. I want Mark Marino.
You want me to bring him to you alive?
No.
Oh. You want him dead?
That's the best choice.
Okay. Like I said, 1 week. I'm sending my fastest ship right now. Well, gentlemen, I am afraid that I need to begin plans for a massive operation moving resources to a new development.
I'll be sending some information your way. I might have a team who might tag along.
Sure. We'll clean up the station for you before you need to get your hands dirty.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, he just leans back over the balcony and goes, Krieg, let's go. Get the Ripper. Gentlemen, please. Food, drinks, women, men, drugs, whatever you need. Talk to my concierge. He gestures to the bouncer. I'm afraid that I have a business expedition to take care of. He gives you a quick salute. He snaps at like the guy doing bottle service. He's like, get my knife, bring it to my quarters on board the Ripper. And he just adjusts his tie and starts walking away.
Van-Vee, notice which knife he gets. Is it the one we just gave him, or does he have another special knife?
It's the one that he stabbed into his own chair.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, you say it's a special knife. It's just a normal knife.
It's special to Van-Vee.
Okay, it's not special in any special qualities. It just has sentimental value.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Cap, I think that was good.
Got everything I could have hoped for to a certain degree. You know, the business partnership, MINERVA, he opens up some doors, but he also gives us some future problems that we will definitely have to deal with. But, you know, for today, I think this is a win.
I hope it remains as such.
I assume this conversation is happening as we're heading back to the ship. Or
Aaron's sort of
as we're sitting at the bar in his place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting empty in there fast. There's like 4 guys dragging the 2 still bleeding dead bodies out through the back in the sound of a wood chipper.
Yeah, and I don't think we'd stick around.
At the side of a double homicide witnessed by dozens of people.
Feels like not our scene right now.
As you head back to the ship, I feel like this is a solid place to end the episode.
Agreed.
I have no idea how you can predict where we're supposed to be going next, because I have no clue where we're going next.
I don't have any idea where you're going.
I mean, Minerva has ideas now, but
well, that's what I mean. But to end it here before we have a conversation, it's like, oh man,
you have a full week to give yourself some time to decide. Banana.
We have a full week to decide what do we want to name the next ship that we're going to cannibalize.
It has a name. It's Determination. But yeah, sure, you can change it. Nothing bad has ever happened renaming a ship. Determination was the name of the first interplanetary cruiser we made for Empyrean.
No.
It was a giant black log. It was shaped like the S piece from Tetris. It was covered with a double layer of the hardest armor possible and could barely break atmosphere on its first flight. Family once spent 3 hours strapped to the engine block on the outside of the ship during a gunfight.
Empyrean was fun.
Crazy. It's so good. I might go back to it in a couple of months and do the salvage thing, not multiplayer. But it's called like Star Salvage, where you start with absolutely nothing and a planet full of half assembled ships and bases, and it's like you have to get enough oxygen and food to survive and then get off planet.
That's fun.
I would like to try it. That was my favorite part of that game, was finding really cool pre-made shit, slapping it back together, getting it back to base, and then disassembling it in a wood chipper to make a bigger ship.
It's satisfying.
Feels great.
But
hey, guys, I told you at the beginning of this episode you had no idea what you were in for and that things wouldn't go the way you thought they would.
I didn't, and I didn't, and I did. I don't know where we are. Yeah.
Let's talk about XP. You definitely told Johnson to fork himself.
Hell yeah.
You didn't reach out with the link on Johnson, but you did reach out with the link, so I'm going to give you XP for that. And hey, you left the Perimeter Agency alive. And Carlito's an ally. Everybody gets 2 XP.
All right.
And then Van-Vee gets another 1 because he worked towards find his mother. And MINERVA gets another 1 because she got the resources attached. I mean, you tried making some moves in that direction.
Some baby steps.
How you guys doing? It's probably been a pretty intense bit of whiplash. I like how I try to make Carlito sound a little threatening. Like, I thank you so much for everything you've done for me, because in the end, he was genuinely sincere, and you guys just either failed to pick up on that, or there really was no threat for you. You were like, is he threatening us? And I'm like, no. It seems
like to make
we brought him a nice gift.
Yeah.
Well,
seems tired.
I am level 9.
Oh boy.
Exciting.
I have great news for you. You cannot get to level 10. You need to be unbreaked to reach level 10.
Oh. It's up to you. Might take a while, but...
Not rolling hit points already rolled. Wait, what? Oh, this is going to get weird. Let me try to refresh this.
Wait, actually, I think I am catching.
I just subtract hit points so that I could do my roll properly because I have attached the armature hit points.
I see.
And it just freaked out on me for dropping my hit points.
So you've reached the maximum growth your brain can have right now. Your choices for advancement are better processing power or unbreaking yourself.
Yeah, just
I'm
copy
adding
yourself.
that as a custom rule just to fuck with you.
One short of the last focus. Okay.
I love it.
I mean, at some point, your brain has just processed all there is to process. Mechanically.
Do you need to get some more processors? They're
I mean, when you're in
expensive.
the suit, when you're in the gorilla suit, you have a +2 processor.
I think it gave me only one processing point.
Okay,
Yeah,
level
+1
processor. Okay.
Hull may have some of those. Who knows?
I mean, there are processor expansions that are big enough you have to mount them on a ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Fairy has some. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's telling me that I have already rolled hit points for the level, but I didn't.
Just manually do the roll or whatever it needs.
So it's plus I don't get con mod. So I'm just rolling level D6, seeing if it's higher.
Okay.
Nope. So +1. Woo.
Look at all those twos. Holy shit.
I want to say, Dunamis, I'm at the level, the Dungeons and Daddies episode with the body swapping. Oh,
Yes.
shit. What great actors.
There's a lot of cool stuff that happens at level 9 for me.
Ooh. Now, do you see why I was talking about that show so much previously? Granted, the title's a little weird, Dungeons and Daddies, but...
I mean, Ron continuously makes me want to destroy everything around me, and sometimes Glenn is really fucked up too, but Will and Matt are incredible.
Yeah. Darryl Wilson here.
Beth as Daryl Wilson is so bad. She's like, I did him dirty.
So I now have access to the final level of routines.
Okay.
A bunch of which I can't buy right now, but the two that I did gain, Will of the Machine, I can maintain a processing point to force direct control of a device that has any wireless capability, even if it can't normally be controlled remotely, as long as it's no larger than a grav flyer.
Okay. So you can take over people's cars.
I can take over people's cars. The other one, multi-factor predictions, if I remember correctly, it sounds a little bit bullshitty, so we'll probably want to talk about it because I promise not to be bullshitty. My short notes for it say predict events and then tell the DM how things are going to happen.
Yes.
So,
yep. So in order for that to happen, it has to be physically possible, and the events you describe have to be plausible.
okay.
And if
it's in combat, you only get one round. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes...
It requires,
Yeah,
if you want to use this on anything other than background NPCs, it requires intimate knowledge of everyone involved with your plan. You have to be capable of properly predicting their behavior.
Information.
I actually don't feel
yeah.
like this is that bullshitty. It is very powerful, though. To be clear.
Yeah, but it does feel like the ultimate expression of like an AI, right? Like I perfectly predicted all of the dominoes that would fall to get us here.
It feels like the responsible thing to do to check before I start doing the stuff with that.
I'm 100% on this thing.
Okay.
You mean the level 9 AI powers start to feel a little crazy?
Well, that's it. There's nothing. This is the apex.
There's one that lets you just teleport wherever you want.
There is. I don't have the XP to purchase that one.
I mean, you know someone who has it.
I do. There's a bunch of really fun ones that I could have bought that I haven't bought. There's one where I can project a force field out of my box that uses my hit points. So somebody can leave my box on a table and I can just get up, walk around, and interact with the world around me. It's also super dangerous if I do that somewhere where somebody doesn't like that.
Like anywhere with quantum UCM, really. Or a hotshot programmer.
But the other cool thing is
hacker.
the other cool thing is I am now as good at programming as is possible for a character.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's very scary for me. I appreciate you honestly haven't used it that much.
When we talked about the character concept at the
Ethical usage.
I said that I was, there's a lot of abusable things that can be done with the character.
Sure.
And I've been trying to be very careful to make sure that I don't abuse the privilege of playing a cool character concept.
So just to go back to ethical usage, the start of this episode, you were all arrested for committing a crime against humanity using programming.
From a certain point of view.
Go ahead and do that 10-second rewind. Let's undo that.
It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I can boost my intelligence bonus to 3, and I'm rolling 4 dice, take best at 4 ranks of programming.
Well,
I need a VI.
I feel like we're solidly entering our final arc.
Awesome.
There are a lot of places to go, a lot of things to do, but the clock is on. There is a threat out there to the whole sector.
Yeah.
You don't know where it is. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it's capable of. But the people whose job it is to hunt these threats are afraid of it. So
there is so much to do, so much to see.
What is wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go.
Yeah.
I think that is probably our 7th or 8th music reference.
I told you there would be about
Mamma Mia.
3. Yeah, oh, there you go. Now you
Here we go again.
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna get a 4-year-old to watch this episode. Where a bunch of drunk miners said, "What the heck?" What the heck, buddy? You better step back from that jukebox machine. You're gonna get clapped on.
That is actually something with the charity thing. I was like, ooh, no swearing. No swearing. No swearing.
I have specifically removed myself from being the game master.
I found myself.
I'll be able to lock that day down. Yeah, pretty soon.
Oh, good. We might be getting T-shirts from Make-A-Wish for that. They're gonna.
Oh, that's fun.
Custom print us T-shirts and shit. I guess. I couldn't even stop myself from swearing about.
I was gonna say I can see why you removed yourself.
Yeah.
Funny.
I've lost the professionalism I once had by being an internet broadcaster.
What's your profession? And you're professional.
Any other closing thoughts about this whack-ass episode?
I'm really excited about the showman.
Yeah, that's cool. I was not expecting that, and I definitely I'm interested. That feels like the most likely next target.
I was thinking about it because I was thinking about that Firefly scene where they do the ship and they're like, "Here's a new ship just coming out," and I was like, "What if I did that to them? What if their ship? I've described it as old. What if they had a new ship with like modern amenities, like it's 70 years newer?
I mean, we did the walkthrough and the Quentin my baby. Like, and now you're like, so I got a new baby.
You are right. It doesn't come with any weapon systems or defenses, but it's a modular cruiser, so they're meant to be fitted very quickly, like within an hour. And
so it's clean tech.
Oh my god. You know, modular systems
it's an Omni cruiser
before the modular systems existed before the clans, just to be very clear.
It's a standard thing.
You don't
we
call
create
a Pictini
RFCs.
rail a clan rail, an Omni rail.
Explicit specifications. Things have to interop. This is standard.
All right. So instead of calling it the Determination, we're going to call it the Omni Devastator.
Goose.
The Omni Goose.
My point is that if
Omni
you
Goose, there you go.
want to balance the ship out with weapons and armor, you can do that.
Okay. Good to know.
It does have a shitload of stuff on it.
Yes.
It does.
It has everything you need for a long-range, comfortable cruise.
The fact that we could fit more than 6 people without having to worry about running out of oxygen.
I tried to put luxury quarters on it, but yeah, no. They take up way too much space. Instead, you have robots to do the dishes and man all of the systems.
That helps. Well, Quentin might try to, have to rustle up a psychic or two to teach at some point.
It's only the whole fate of, everything.
Academy. Wow, that's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would be,
that would be cool.
That is a really neat idea.
A floating.
Yeah, that's where my brain went initially. And honestly, I had already designed a cruiser that was kind of similar to this, just because I was farting around in that. What do you call it? Starship Creator, Freebooter.
Yeah, Freebooter. Well, the great news is that this is ready to go now.
Right, exactly.
Just putting the finishing touches on it. And your good friend, who you've given millions of credits of financial assistance to, is willing to, get you hooked up with this guy, Jim Satoshi.
Yeah, Jim.
Just happens to be exactly where your sister is.
So I am picturing him as the guy on The Office that they bring in who plays Jim, pretends to be Jim.
No, it's definitely Badger from Firefly.
Oh, okay.
Because he played a insurance adjuster on Leverage, who was also very villainous and sinister, and continuously moved up in the world despite being a greaseball. I want to imagine it's that guy, but just the voice, I guess. Just the voice of that guy.
That's fair.
Terrible British accent. He is British, is the thing that drives me crazy, but he's like, that's right, it's me, Badger. River roasts him in that one episode with the party where she's like, oh, it's not very good to meet people from the old country, is it? I feel like I need to rewatch Firefly now that I've referenced it
it's so good today. Yeah.
The fact you remember everyone's name so well is crazy. I'm probably the most recent one to watch it, and I don't remember half the people's names.
Well, I can tell you there's a bounty hunter, and I believe his name's Jubal Early.
Jubal Early,
and he's a fucking weirdo.
Oh, he's great. Objects in Space is one of the best episodes.
God. My favorite part of it, he's one of those guys that would tell the story of the frog and the scorpion if the situation was relevant. He's 100%. Always like, let me tell you a story. And I'm like, ooh, he's about to get weird.
Does that seem right to you?
Yeah, does this seem right to you? Yeah.
That shtick was fantastic. I love that episode. Up there with Out of Gas and stuff, so good.
I mean, anything involving Saffron fucking around and the Golden Gun. I mean, those are two of my favorites. But the flashback episode, which I think is episode 3, where they talk about how the crew came together in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for me is my favorite.
So well done. Yeah, it nails the melancholy,
My
like nostalgia.
Scene though is in episode 1 where they all get captured by the crew. Is that the one? It might actually be Objects in Space. It's the one where they're all being interrogated, and the camera. Yep. I did it in this episode. The camera keeps flipping, so you don't know who they're talking to. And it cuts back to Wash, and he's like, "Have you been with a warrior woman?"
Warrior woman?
Oh my god, that is my favorite scene in the whole series, including the movie. It's
so
just
good.
Zoe staring at the guy, and then it flips, and it's Wash bragging about his wife. She's like, "I'll tell you nothing."
He's like describing her, and he's like, "Yeah, it was just like this region, and then everything below that." And then...
God damn!
Oh my god.
Listen, they had those two characters figured out. Not every romance is very well done, I think, but them, I was always like, good comedy.
It works. So good. It works. Like, so yeah. Alan Tudyk is like he's a treasure.
Oh man.
Is everyone good for next Monday?
I believe so.
All right.
Yes.
I'm out one of these Mondays. I think I told you guys about it.
You did drop a date.
I did. And that date
October
is
something.
The 23rd.
20...
Yeah. I'll be in Washington, D.C.
Exciting.
No.
Oh.
It'll be DC traffic trip? On a Monday night.
Well, maybe you're going to a cool museum or something.
No. Going to a train station.
I won't be here on the 9th.
October 9th? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get it in the schedule.
Cool. I'll be in Cancun.
My God, this guy 2 vacations in 1 year? Are you even American?
Yeah, 2. 2. This is gonna be our first vacation without the kids since having kids.
Ah, there we go. All right. Okay.
Exciting.
We don't hassle this guy. We don't hassle him, not for that.
Yeah.
Not in this house. Well, if there's no final thoughts, I'm going to wrap this episode up. Viewers who stopped watching, I hope you get this message and you've restarted watching. Please come back home. Your parents miss you.
We love you. Like and subscribe.
No, don't tell. You can't tell the audience that we love them. Don't tell the audience we love them. Then you'll never get rid of them.
All right. I hope you all come back so you can roast us after you see what we've gotten up to.
Tell me what you think of our choices.
None of it's our fault,
let's
be clear.
That is so not true.
None of it's our fault. You set fire to a priceless artifact.
Everything's my fault.
For pettiness.
And I love it. Yeah, hell yeah.
I just want to be clear. This all started with the mission selection, which you, the audience, put in front of us.
Hey, that pen was in a trash can, and you guys just could not let it go.
That's what I
you
said.
Were on your way out the fucking door.
I said at the break.
I think he left the room, and you went back and picked it up out of the garbage can. Is my remembering what happened?
I waited till Bryce? No, what's his name? Was it Jace?
Jace Brown.
When Jace left the room,
yeah.
Then I went through his trash. 100%.
Unbelievable.
I said at the break that if you really think about it, this is all Van-Vee's fault because of that moment.
I want to see, like, I know it doesn't exist, but like the charts that show number of people who went through his trash to pick up this pen later, and how I'm like the 1%.
Yeah. The Walking Dead Telltale games and like
yes.
Yeah. I tell you guys have followed a fucking crazy.
Yeah, we're on the like 0.00001% path. Yeah, for sure.
My
possibility is not supposed to exist.
The moment I think that we really gelled in our chaos was when we met up with with Fairy, and you were like, and this was not at all expected.
Yeah,
I guess we're doing this. You've chosen the 0.1% achievement, guys.
That definitely heavily diverted you. I mean, you would have eventually learned about the dust when you went in the quarantine zone, which you were very close to doing anyway. but it was
Right.
a whole like full analysis data dump. Are you an enemy or friend? Here's an out which you took. Like, there was some crazy ass shit going. I honestly, when this campaign started, I talked about Johnson because I wanted Johnson to be like the last person you met in the campaign. Like, oh, you've overcome the threat to the sector. I'm Agent Johnson. You'd be like, oh, it's Johnson. It's that guy that we occasionally hear about whose job it is to protect the whole sector. Now we met him. No, you guys.
And then
are
we
fucking
picked up
deep.
his pen.
Yeah, then you picked up his pen. Now you're the G-Man is here. It is time for you, Dr. Gordon. You're coming with me.
I mean, in one of the very first
I love it.
episodes when you talked about Johnson, I'm pretty sure you mentioned the woman's name too, but that was so long ago, I have no clue. His boss.
I actually don't think I've ever given her name.
Fortunately, if you think there's a name that you forgot, there's a record.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
watch the whole series, knowing everything you know now.
My
and try to see
current
if you can
prediction
pick up on all the foreshadowing.
I did
for your new final scene is going to be essentially like
Johnson shows up.
Johnson
Like, have you
sending
heard
us
of the perimeter
through
agency?
a jump gate. He's sending us through a jump gate. That's what
I did, just because I wanted to see what sort of stuff I missed out on after we finished Solaris Nights. I did rewatch all of Solaris Nights.
Oh my god.
dude.
God, what a long
That's a
ride.
commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And there was a few moments I was like, okay, with more context, this is funnier or whatever. Like there was, or hey, now that I know better, we totally fucked that up and all kinds of stuff. It's fun.
I feel like watching
I
Fair
did.
and shit must have been batshit insane.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm sure it was like an interesting ride starting when we didn't have that much. It's like the battles I felt like went quick and we didn't have too much before or after. Then as the seasons went on, like I'm pretty sure like at one point AP was like, I've just known to assume 2 hours episodes with you and the battles take 10 minutes.
Like some people ended up with really long matches. Some people were never capable of having long matches.
Yay, light max.
Like, well, I was thinking,
People
That
have been
was
pushing me to
Glima
do a
and
second
crits.
Solaris Nights.
I was thinking
Oh,
before
yeah?
Glima. His matches were
I know,
either
Glima.
tragically good or tragic
really-
tragedy.
One of his first matches where he went up against the Empress and literally just got like center torso through armor critical gyro just like
It was
completely
insane.
fucked on the first move.
Yeah.
That's such a Glima move too, because that happened to him it happened to him in his first appearance on BattleTech, where Caesar got absolutely fucked.
The Eric.
I like him when he was just. I like the tone he set there. He's like, I'm just gonna kick this Atlas off a cliff and it'll just die. What? This is awesome. And that was the tone, whether he was dying or he was doing the killing.
Yeah.
The whole show.
He lost to a 45-ton hover tank. I'll never forget that. It's always he called shot, kicked a dude in the head over a cliff, and he lost to a hover tank.
I'm glad he lost.
That's what we're saying.
Perfectly balanced.
I'm glad he lost that one because it makes more people forget about me losing to the oil
sprayer?
and fire guy. Yeah.
That was such a
That was
crazy
so fun.
fight.
So
It's
fun.
like, oh, this is the season of rules. All
I was
right,
like,
let's see
what
how
is
this goes.
I did have to
I
boost the sprayers slightly to make them usable, but yeah, it was bad for you. You got in close to a guy whose whole thing was, you probably shouldn't get close to me.
Yeah, that was always Cosmo's thing though, up close and
Yes,
personal.
that's true.
Because I
It's not
always
like
wanted
he
to
had a
pull
boss
off my
rifle.
finisher.
No, Cosmo just likes to say hi.
It took me 2 seasons to pull off my finisher, and when it finally happened, I was like, "Well, that was underwhelming."
Oh, the punch. Yeah, that's right.
If I connect on 2 punches, I can then headbutt with the flamer because it was like a cigar.
Your signature move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was called Spicy Chin Music. I named it and everything. And then it happened, and I was like, I didn't do shit.
That's because the flamethrower
Underwhelming.
only does 2 damage.
Yeah, the flamethrower is so sad.
My original intent was to make when the concept you first mentioned, the concept was to take like a high flyer that would do like the equivalent of like a 5-star and just like jump, and as he's landing just lay out like this and land on people. Funny. I do think my favorite Klimo match was the underground one because they both lost in the first turn. That one was great.
Well, there were a lot of wild things that happened.
The Merc mission was so fucking long.
I love it.
You set up 7 hours. I was like, we're not going to need that much time.
I knew.
3 hours into it, I was like, we're going to need more
Every
time.
second of it.
I was so
Every
excited
second of
about
it.
the Merc mission, and then I spent most of it unconscious.
Yeah. That was so sad.
The best part was that I didn't die despite that tank trying to kill me, and then I woke up at the very end with only one box left. It was so... Did we
That was
win?
funny.
I'm still here?
Yeah, you take a fuck ton of damage.
Yeah, at a certain point, it was like principle for AP to be like, I will destroy you.
I gotta get somebody on the way out. I gotta get somebody.
Yeah.
I remember that mission ending like this. I was like, perfect. I got them. They're just in range of my Arrow 4 artillery. And then everybody was like, I just spent the whole turn running. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, you do what? And they're like, yeah, we just moved out of range. And I'm like, no, but I have a tag laser. No, the artillery. No, I've waited the whole match for this. No!
Yeah, we took that Kodiak down and then just split.
You are never going to live down the mines.
Oh,
No.
Yeah. Your poor, nice, fancy clan tech just.
It was my first mission with it.
Yep.
At that time, I didn't know who.
You were so excited and it was so fast. And
Hold on.
It's perfect for this mission. It's amazing. It's getting boom.
And I warned you about the mines thing.
literally, that was the best part.
So
Unknown issue.
there were like two things that happened, right? The first was someone else scanned and found them. They announced it as a player, not as a character. Then you get me as the player who forgets anything I hear 5 seconds before it's my turn. So when I knew my turn was coming, all I was thinking about was, whatever this guy's doing. I'm just gonna go do my thing. Oh, look, there's the pathway avoiding the trees right into the mines. And I was like, I feel like someone was just talking about mines.
Exact place you'd want to put mines, along the pathway that lets people flank.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
All right, friends. I am old and tired. We're gonna back out here. We'll be back next week. These guys better come with a plan, because they're got multiple directions, multiple places they want to be. They have a lot of people that want to talk to them. They have several people that want to kill them. And somewhere, just out of reach, something is lurking. Something with a Jadur rifle. Something that's made MINERVA.